Hello and welcome to the Mind Over Mic podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Today's guest is a stand-up comedian, podcaster, father, husband, and all-around great human being. I really enjoyed this conversation with him. You can support him by going to drewmorgancomedy.com for tickets. You can also check out his podcast with two other incredible comics. The podcast is called Gravy Baby, which is maybe a better title than Mind Over Mic. That podcast is streaming wherever you get your pods, so please go and support him. I want to say I really enjoyed this conversation with him today. I learned a lot about him as a person, about his 14 years in the industry of stand-up comedy, and we talk about a lot of broad life topics, things like navigating fear, discipline, ego, all within this world of stand-up. We also talk about his dreams and aspirations early on versus where he feels like he's at now. I found him to be extremely honest about some of his failures, his setbacks, and his miscalculations on this career path that we are both endeavoring on as well. So this is a very fun one for me. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Please support him and enjoy this episode with my buddy, Drew Morgan. I don't know how to not.
That's good.
That's my whole thing. Is
that might not be very fun, but that's good.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I work hard either. I don't even know, because I do love it so much that it doesn't feel necessarily that.
You love what?
Difficult. Producing like a pod. Don't tell, it also gives me something to complain about 24/7, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, oh, I'm so tired, and then I just schedule a show in a cave or whatever the fuck. I'm a sick person. But it gives me something to do.
What happened?
Now there, boy, let's unpack. Let's get down to it. I don't know. I think that's a good question. My whole family are kind of like really not workaholics, but like obsessive types. Well, they're either addicts or workaholics, which is, I guess, a form of addiction.
Mm-hmm, sure.
So that's kind of my whole
holic in the name.
Right. Yeah, literally. So I think, the workaholic, alcoholic, same holics. And I think that was kind of my training.
Yeah, no one's ever, well, maybe. I was going to say, no one's ever beat their wife so they could work more. But maybe they have.
They probably have from working too much.
Yeah, for sure. And drinking too much. I guess, okay. Yeah, all right.
Could be a combo. Yeah, I don't know. I also enjoy it, and I think that, I've said this before on the show, but like I know where I'm at with like stand-up and podcasting and all that stuff, and then I know where I want to be. Mm-hmm. And I think I have a pretty firm understanding, like the only thing that'll get me from point A to B is just working really hard.
Yeah, I don't like working hard.
I don't either.
You just said you did. You just said I enjoy it.
I enjoy the show. If you said, do you like to work hard? I go, no. But if you said, do you like to do stand-up and produce a podcast? I go, absolutely.
And the only way you feel that you can is by working hard?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fair. So. Yeah, I don't think that I'm lazy. I think like fear and something that my parents instilled in me to keep me from being quote unquote lazy.
Yeah. But
I don't like working hard. And it's not that I don't like working. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I've never thought about this too much, which is weird.
Is it like a discipline thing, you think? Like a self-discipline?
That I lack it? Yeah, maybe.
Right. Like I don't go to the gym. I know that I should. Mm-hmm. I know that I should. I feel so much better when I do, and there's periods of my life where I don't know. Right. So in that way, also there's many days where you'll just see me in this apartment on the couch not moving for 8 hours. Like, so I don't always work hard. Like, don't let me fool you. Sometimes I'm a slob.
I think it's like a marathon versus sprinting type thing for me. I don't think I'm lazy at all. It's that I get very bored, and there's like always some part of me that's like, okay, we're going to do a podcast, Drew, and let's like work really, and I do work hard at it. And I had one back in the day that is no longer in existence that morphed into a cult as a joke. And it turns out people like cults as much as they like jokes. So that got a little out of hand. But the podcast was called Into the Biscuit. And I worked really hard up front And then when I got over it, I didn't quit working hard. I quit working hard on it. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like consistency, maybe it is discipline, has been an issue for me. There's never been a time other than like episodes of depression where I'm like lazy. But there's been so many times where like, this is hard and I can't really tell you why I'm doing it anymore.
Yes.
Like maybe I was only doing it because I enjoyed it, and now that I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to do it because, like, why else would I do this? Well, it's going to help your career. Is it? I tell myself, or like, is that who I am?
Do
like the guy
care?
who's going to like do that, Yeah. And that's none of that's good for the record.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is something that is so like prevalent in, I guess, just artists, but comics especially. Like Travis, Travis Stevenson, former guest of the show, who I love, one of my closest friends. Yeah. Fuck that guy. Love Travis. He is the same. Like Travis bought a coffee trailer, got it all ready to go. He's like obsessed about coffee. I'm going to be a coffee guy on the weekend. But never even went to the first event. Sold the trailer. Moved on. Travis flips houses. He'll flip 10 houses in a year. Then he won't flip a house for 5 years. He's obsessive about stand-up. Seems to be the exception for him, where he never stalls out.
I think it is for me too. I have stalled out a couple times. I've been doing it a lot longer, but I have stalled out in terms of aspects of it. Like there's been time periods where I can look and be like, yeah, I wasn't doing like so. I've been treading water for 2 years.
Okay.
And I don't mind talking about that. I am living in a situation where I'm like not close to any city or club.
I say it every week on the show. Yeah, same here.
Right, but like.
But you're at a much different level than I am. That's
more
like
of a
my
Don't Tell came out, and it didn't give me the heat that I hoped for, but it gave me some heat.
Yeah.
And I was in a place of like, well, it's 3 hours to the nearest comedy club right now.
Right.
So I have been working hard to tread water. I go to Knoxville even though there's no club, and I do shows there, and I don't think I receded, but I do think I got stuck. You know what I mean? So I've definitely had those periods, but what never flamed out for me was stand-up, and I think this is why I stuck with it. Like, there's other things I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed writing, for example. But then, like, editing would kill. Like, I'd be like, I've already done this. I don't want to work. Stand-up was the one thing where it's like, I do kind of want to work on it. I kind of want to do it a little different. And I think that's why I stuck with it. And also the put it in my veins right now. Instant validation, not instant, but quicker validation and gratification. Does this joke work? Let me go find out tonight. Yeah. Was much better for me. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it. I enjoyed that more than like trying to write something long.
Yeah, and I think weirdly enough, so it'll be episode 36 of this show. I had another show before this that we did 75
3
episodes.
+ 6, 9. And my wife's into a bunch of stuff that's not real. Numerology is one of them, and 9 is my number.
There you go. Hey, what are the odds?
What are the odds,
God,
guys?
I hope you're not 37.
1 out of 10.
I think you're 36.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bump.
The odds are 1 out of 10.
Yeah,
those are the odds.
Yeah,
and 10%. That's it only if you count 0. It could be the odds are 1 out of 9.
10%, pretty good. I do think, like, I've had a guy who owns the wrestling studio that we did. He was on. I've had bar owners like Spence, who owns Cascade Draft House. I've had psychologists. I've had 100 different people.
Today's episode, where's mine? Sponsored by Cascade Draft House.
He's gonna love that so much,
and we appreciate him. And later, I will be cashing in this $10 gift certificate.
That goes a long way at Cascade too. Very reasonable prices, great selection, good guy.
For a light American beer.
Don't worry, he's got an ad that'll be. Honestly, I'll plug it right now. Yeah. Cascade Draft House. I'm proud to tell you that Cascade Draft House is a proud first sponsor of the Mind Over Mike podcast. I'm very excited to team up with them, and they are a special business. If you love good beer, I know I do, you got to get down to Cascade Draft House. It's on State Street in Bristol, Tennessee, and they've got an amazing selection of 40 rotating taps, so there's always something new to try. They've got ciders, they've got seltzers, they've got IPAs, lagers, you name it. Tons of cool stuff, and it's not just about the drinks at Cascade. It really, truly is an awesome vibe in there. They've got open mic nights. There's fun for everybody. It's a great spot. Go and check out them, and thank Cascade Draft House for supporting the Mind Over Mike podcast. Now back to the episode.
Don't worry, I don't feel this way about people, but with beers, I really only like American Lights.
Amen, brother. Amen. Yeah. I do think that if you own a bar, if you own a wrestling studio, if you're a psychologist, whatever it is, on this show, we always seem to slide into this exact conversation that you and I are having. I know that
like
sounds crazy.
Self-obsession?
No. Like, things
on a podcast.
Words
I just
like,
remember the camera's here, and now I'm doing all these stupid Jim Halpert takes.
Down barrel. I do think words like perseverance. Fuck. What's the word I even just said? Discipline, like a lot of these aspects of like chasing what you love is typically where the conversation slides. And one thing that I have found over and over again is like the people who are in this room because they believe in whatever they're doing, but they'll talk about it as if they, well, that's that too. They'll talk about it as if they're failing at it. But to me, I'm like, the only reason, does that make sense? Like the people who are working the hardest typically have this internal thing of like, I suck, I'm regressing, I'm stuck, I'm whatever. Because if you're actually regressing, I'm
having a hard time working hard lately because of like access to it and just like having a 2-year-old, and I feel like that's failing myself.
Sure.
If I get to, we're moving soon, me and my family. I don't know if I've said that on mic yet. When I'm like closer to Atlanta and I'm able to engage with stand up the way that I used to in terms of the time I'm able to put into it, and things don't go my way, I may shift to what you're talking about.
Sure.
I'll just like being honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm really, really good at stand-up comedy.
I agree.
There are things in my act or where I'm at that I need to improve upon, and I know what they are, and I'm planning on soon. To me, the failing or the like that stuff has more to do with like, and maybe this is what you were getting at. Do you believe in what do you believe in, God?
Yeah, some version of that.
Sure. Yeah. I think that whatever version of that I have, spirituality, God, whatever, there's like definitely an aspect of owing yourself something, owing the people who love you something.
Yeah.
And not like, I hate the word owe because that feels like transactional, but just in the sense of, hey, this is your life. You got a kid. You're spending hours driving to Atlanta, for example, to do comedy every week.
Right.
So do it, motherfucker.
Right.
And I do think a lot of people worry that they're not. And that's probably like what you're picking up on this theme of like, but then I also do think we live in this kind of, there's a real shitty aspect of American culture, I think, that is competition based and sort of comparison and then success driven, but success defined in very specific ways.
Sure.
So like if I tell myself, damn, I feel like I'm failing myself, I hope that what I mean is, you could be better, and you would feel better if you worked hard at being better.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes I mean, you wish you sold more tickets last night.
So for me, and I'll maybe shift to like personally, even just like outside of in all areas of my life, I think it's a very blurry line between I'm too hard on myself and I'm my biggest, like, I'm the gym coach who's like, run, I need a little of that.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I also adopt these people in my life who are that to me. Like I get that externally a lot. I don't currently have one because I'm recently divorced from that one. But I think that someone in my ear going, work harder, do more is good. The problem is for me, sometimes that goes a little too far and it becomes self-hate. And I've struggled with that for my entire life, even outside of stand-up. But stand-up also breeds that in such a crazy way because comparison
is the constant validation versus failing.
Yes.
Both in terms of comparing yourself to other comics and the fact that the audience just told you about yourself.
Absolutely. In real time. Yeah, they're telling you, you suck.
You get numb to that.
Yeah.
Carlin said, someone asked him, what's the secret? And he said, stop caring what people think. And the person goes, yeah, I get that, man. I'm really trying to get over, like, just because this person doesn't think I'm funny doesn't mean the next one doesn't think I'm funny. And he goes, you didn't hear what I said. I said, stop caring what everyone thinks. Not just the people who didn't think you were funny.
Right.
You also have to get to the place where it doesn't have an effect on you that everyone thought you were funny. And that was kind of like scary to me when I internalized that, because I was like, I think that's why I do it though, bro. Like I really need that fix. Oh my God, I'm a little addicted to it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But two things. One, you were talking about that, having them people in your life. So it kind of brings us back to the first question at the top of the pod, which is like, what happened to you? You know what I mean? Like, it's always there, right?
Oh yeah.
But two, and I'm not just saying this because I want to be different than all the other guests, but I do.
Well, hey, so far so good.
This platform, or whatever you call podcast, not platform, what's the word I'm looking
for? Medium?
This medium is like lends itself to self-reflection, self-obsession, whatever.
Sure. Especially this show, I'll tell you that. That's
we have solved it though as a species.
Sure.
What you're talking about, how to get over that, is stop thinking about yourself.
I thought you were going to say mushrooms. I thought that was going to be a shameless plug for mushrooms.
Mushrooms can lead to this because
it does help.
What's the corny thing people get to when they're on mushrooms? We're all one, man.
I should love myself more. Yeah.
I should love myself more, but also we're all one. It's not about you. And so it is in the sense that I'm experiencing this existence as myself or whatever. And I need to work harder at stand up because I want to, because I love it and I love myself and I want to work harder at stand up. But the truth is, what I really need to be focused on is like, what does my kid need?
Yeah.
What does my wife need? What does my community need? That's where I'm at.
Sometimes,
and I'm not, by the way, when I say I'm there, I mean, I'm trying to transition into being the person that I want to be and stop being so fucking obsessed with myself.
Isn't there some overlap sometimes too, though? Yeah. Of like, I had a guy on who, Corbin LeMaster. Do you know Corbin? He opens for Mark Norman.
Yeah, I know he is.
From Austin. Love Corbin. He was in town. He slept right there and we fucking did a pod. And he's like, I'm on the road all the time. I miss so much of my kid's life. But there's a part of me too that goes, I want them to, in 60 years, whatever, look back and go, my dad might have been absent a lot, but he was showing me how hard you can chase a dream, how hard you can work, how hard you can so like when I hear you say things like travel to Atlanta a couple hours a week, that's time I'm not with my kid. I think the only thing more devastating in the long run of like, I was traveling to Atlanta for shows, so I didn't get time with my kid is, I didn't get time with my kid, but it's because I was fucking off doing nothing and didn't care. Does that make sense? Like, the reason you're not there to me is not, I don't know if it's ever valid necessarily, but it's something that I think at least that in time, you, the kid, and everyone else will look at and go, well, I'll, again, flip it to me. My mom was 17 when I was born. We lived in a single wide trailer for most of my childhood right next door to my grandparents.
Here it is, guys.
This is what happened. Let's get into it. So most of my act and my kind of even off stage, like my mental thing is that she was not around. There's some truth to that. The reason she was not around is she was working 2 jobs and getting a master's degree in psychology to support me. Mm-hmm. So I have friends whose mom was not around because they were a meth addict.
Right.
Some of the abandonment, some of the attention issue, some of the things, there's overlap. It's just different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think so.
So like I have the same gripes of like, yeah, I spent a lot of time alone as a kid, all these things, but I also, part of me knows why too, so it doesn't hurt the same way.
I think that's fair. I do wonder if like pursuit of stand-up is equivalent to getting a master's while working 2 jobs to support your kid, but you could argue that it is.
Sure.
But I didn't mean to necessarily get into the parenting aspect of it. I'm willing to. I guess I was just more thinking like,
personal.
Lately, I've been thinking that the issue with my self-obsession is self-obsession. That what I need to, like even that was sort of framed as like, oh, what's my kid going to think about me in 40 years?
Right.
And I'm saying that lately what I've been on, and by been on, I mean I'm trying to get there as a person, is to stop thinking that way. Like to truly just be like, what is needed from me, from these other people? And we'll see.
Well, right.
And it might not be stand up. You know what I mean? That's like the thing. Like, I don't think I'll ever stop standing up, meaning I don't think I'll ever stop getting up. It's fun. Yeah. But like, maybe it's just that.
Right.
Maybe it's just like a fun thing we do
for
with
you
our friends.
Personally, would that be enough for you? If I said to you, okay, Drew, you can do stand up forever. You could just never quote unquote surpass where you're at, whatever that means to you. Industry, attention, specials, tickets. If I said right where you're at is the level of industry success you'll have forever.
Right.
Would you still do it?
Yeah.
Right. So then there's your answer. Like then, when I started,
I think.
I didn't do Sean's class or whatever that everybody locally did. I just went in there one day and was like, I love this thing. I've had a couple notes in my phone I think are maybe funny. I tried it once, never stopped. And for a long time, it was like, if I can make $1 from telling a joke, then I've done it and I'll just quit after that. That's it right there.
That's pretty sick.
That happened.
That's a double-edged sword though, right?
What?
That's a double-edged sword though, right?
Double-edged sword. Absolutely.
Like that's sick that happened and it's sick that you did that, but it's like, here's my version of that.
I just never quit.
At 25, I said, I want to be able to make a living doing this. If I can do that, holy shit.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, God, I wish I'd had bigger dreams, dude. Fuck, because making a living doing this ain't enough for me anymore. to be away from my family.
Sure.
Do you understand what I'm getting at? Like,
Absolutely.
And and that's my own, like, I think it's like really navel gazy for me to like now go into all that, but it's just like, I think it's interesting to think about that and think about how it's so much healthier to just think about other people. I mean, I really do believe that. Not because like I'm trying to be like morally correct or whatever. Like I think it's actually better for you to not fucking navel gaze all the goddamn time.
I think the fact that you even have that thought, or the fact that you even focus on things like, I need to be the person my family needs, less self-obsessed, all these things, means that you are that.
Self-reflective?
Right. Like that you kind of already are doing the thing that you wish that you were doing. Like, asshole narcissists who don't think about anyone else don't ever sit here on camera and go, I really need to focus on other people. Like, they don't even get there.
And they're often like more successful because if they're charming along with that self-obsession, like that lends itself, especially in this industry.
Yeah. Amen.
But I got over being bitter about that because I would much rather be healthy and happy than those people. They're all miserable.
It's also,
I've met like one that I think is doing okay internally, and I think they're just really lucky.
Are you 15 years in? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm 15 years old.
So you're 15 years old.
How many years in am I? I think it's 14. It might be 15.
Okay, so you're 14 years old. At 14 years old, you also, I would imagine, you're 4 times my lifespan in comedy. So you've seen so many different examples of this to where you've started to develop this like almost callous to the urge to be more self-indulgent, the urge to become one of those narcissists who only thinks about themselves but is charming and all these things. Like, I'm sure there's 1,000 characters that you can think of.
I think that was in me before I started comedy.
Really?
I think so. I think it's in maybe I wasn't aware of it, but I think that's in most people pretty early on. And if it's not and you want to change it, then you got to do a lot of work.
Sure. Hey, sorry for the interruption. Just want to tell you about a couple quick stand-up comedy shows I have in the near future. On the 16th of May, that's a Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, the 16th of May, we've got our next Don't Tell Tri-City show. That's back in downtown Johnson City with a first-time headliner all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Very excited to get to work with her for the very first time. On the 20th of May, I'm going to be doing a showcase over in Cornelius, North Carolina. That's right outside of Charlotte. Very excited to be back in that area. On the 21st, the following night, I'm back in Bristol on the Tennessee side of the street at Cascade Draft House. None other than the very first and only sponsor of this podcast. Very excited to be at Cascade Draft House opening the show for Liam Nelson. On the 29th of May, I'm going to be doing another encore comedy show down in Harriman, Tennessee. I've had a lot of fun working with those folks at Encore Comedy. Very excited for that in Harriman, Tennessee. On the 5th of June, I am in Wytheville, Virginia for a Next Stop comedy show at a brewery there in Wytheville, Virginia. Very excited for that. And on the 6th of June, we've got our next Don't Tell Tri-Cities comedy show. That is going to be in Bristol, Virginia at a brand new venue. Another returning headliner all the way from Atlanta, Georgia as well. And on the 18th of June, I'm back in Knoxville, Tennessee, Knox Vegas, baby, doing another Yellow Door Media show for the great and powerful Justin Chavez. Very excited for all these shows. More dates coming soon. Now back to the episode.
I think that has to do with like how your teenage years formed. But go ahead.
Well, we go to that too. This is literally what happened to me. I long before stand-up, I bring these people into my life, like my best friend in high school, my best friend in college, my best friend early on in stand-up. All these guys are guys who do that thing for me, that keep going, work harder.
They're mean to you?
Pretty much. Honestly, pretty much. And I put myself in these... No. No. Well, yes and no. That's not entirely true. It's complex, but essentially no. Right. We're getting to the heart of it. I think that I bring these figures into my life, but I'm getting better with each one at quicker and more effectively realizing, oh, that's not who I want to be, and that's not an energy I want in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm only 4 years in, and I have a couple of those examples already in stand-up.
But had you not done stand-up, I think you still would have had to go through that, don't you?
Oh, 100%. It's maybe just, it's more directly correlated to my daily life when it's like, not only is this guy that voice for me, he's also the guy, he's like my North Star right now where I go, I want to do what he's doing, the way he's doing. You start to emulate, and then you go, for me, at a certain point, I go, oh, I'm not like this guy at all. I don't want to be this energy. I don't want to be that in a room. I don't want to do this to other people, And so then what's very difficult for me is to put my foot down or to draw a line or to step away from that in any way and try to get back to me. That's where I like really struggle in life. Again, this is brought, like I had my best friend in high school became a roommate after college. Turns out you should never do that. Word of advice. I love this guy to death. We can't live together. And I realized almost immediately, I don't like this relationship. I don't like the dynamics here. Cutting that off and moving and do all that is like so fucking hard for me. So it's not just stand-up. It's everywhere for me. And I think that it sometimes lends itself to what you're talking about too, of like, I realize when I'm starting to emulate these guys or I'm starting to follow these paths and I'm not being me, I'm not giving the love to the other people in my life. I'm not taking care of it. It's all for me.
How old are you?
26.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, and not in a judgmental way. And I hope I don't sound like patronizing.
No, I hear it all the time.
I think it's like, yeah, dude, like some version of that is just is what it is to be between the ages of 22 and 30, depending on your life's trajectory or whatever. Like,
yeah. Which is refreshing to hear, just for the record. I don't take it
personally.
personally.
There's some version of that that everyone's... I think for me, just to try and relate a little, mine was very different, but it's a similar type thing of like, wait, I got to like be me and stop trying to be... Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Was I was 26, 25 maybe, living in Miami-Dade County. I was a public defender, been through law school. I had done all these things that I set out to do. Mm-hmm. I had the job. I had a beautiful wife. I wasn't making a lot of money, but that was somewhat by choice in terms of being a public defender. And it was like, wait a minute. Like, I thought I was supposed to feel a certain way.
Exactly.
Like, I've achieved these things.
Yeah. That didn't do it for you.
Why don't I feel this way? And so what I was going through is some version of that, which, zooming out on the macro level, is like, you have to actually figure out who you are now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And whether that means like your relationships with people and like how that dynamic and you don't want that, or like realizing that like you're not going to define success the way you did at 19 and you spent a shit ton of money to get it and you didn't feel any fucking differently.
Yeah.
And that was, and I think just everyone's going through some version of that. Unless like your late 20s are spent like with an addiction issue. And I think a lot of times people who go through that, that's why. Mm-hmm. It's because like they couldn't be the guy they told themselves they were in high school or gal.
Yeah.
Or like they couldn't anymore.
Sure.
And the real world, quote unquote, sets in. And whether that means that you're on your ass and you were like arrogant in high school and now you need to like find a job and whatever, or you're crushing it on paper, but you don't feel the way you want to feel. It's like, oh, now I got to like, there's no one watching.
Right. Yeah.
It's just me here.
Yeah. And to your addiction example too, I think that, again, personally and in most of my key role models growing up, like, there does reach a point where those vices are not, they're just like your definition of success, your definition of escape changes. So those vices ain't doing it anymore. Whether it's like substances, alcohol, porn addiction, sex addiction, whatever it is.
Well, and that's when I started mine.
Right.
Because I was like, all I did was drink, didn't do that much. Like, I was like, I'm going to fucking be this man. Because my brother was such a addicted, quote unquote, failure.
Sure.
I was going to be the opposite of that.
Older brother?
Yeah. And so, like, my thing then was, like, that's when I started escaping.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just now coming out of that. Like, I was the old guy at the rave. I mean, I still am, but now it's, like, a different thing. But I was, like...
Now you're the cool guy.
It was definitely, like, a time where I was like, why is that 37-year-old so fucked up? And it was, like, because when I was your age, I was in law school making straight A's, motherfucker.
Right.
And then they were like...
I need this.
And then they was like, what? And they're like, sorry, I imagined you saying something because I'm on mushrooms. But,
yeah.
But anyway, but now what I will say about that for me is, and don't take this as like judging you or any other 26-year-old kind of going through that, is I'm so sick of myself now. Like, I spent the years like kind of ruminating and I went through the thing and now I'm like, and again, this is an aspirational sentence that I'm about to say.
Sure.
Now I just want to kind of be about other people.
Yeah.
But paradoxically, for me, I think that would be better for me.
Sure.
And I do think like having a 2-year-old is age and having a 2-year-old has brought that on.
Yeah, I was going to say from just like a human perspective, the timeline, that seems to be right. Like, when at the point where you have a 2-year-old, you should naturally, hopefully, be transitioning. Like, your brain almost has this like innate thing to where it starts to shift around that age. I think we maybe run into trouble with that now where, like, the average age of a new parent is different. Like that's a sliding scale
Sure.
now. But 1,000 years ago, at the age when you're having a kid, your brain should hopefully start to shift to others. Like, and again, paradoxically, that becomes for
you
you.
did that at like 13, so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing
your
I've
aunt was
seen
the
too,
mom.
how many guys do you know? Like there's a couple guys I can think of who are at that stage where they should have kids. They should have a committed relationship. They should have, and they don't. And so that becomes a whole different issue.
Yeah, and I think there's people who do have a committed relationship and kids, and they didn't transition, and they can fool people for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that. It's not my business, but like if you want to ruminate on it, like stand-up specifically too. I don't know if this is true in other people. Sometimes I think stand-ups apply things to stand-ups, and we don't realize it's the world.
1,000%.
One that I hate the most is like, and people will do this too, stand-ups. They're like, I love it because you guys are fucked up.
Yeah.
Why you love that?
Right.
Why would you love that we're fucked up?
Because they relate to it.
Because you're fucked up.
Yeah.
We just talk about it. Right. That's the only difference in stand-ups between us and the rest of the world, generally speaking, is that we will go up there and be like, so I'm like addicted to a weird type of porn. Mm-hmm. If people are laughing, it's because they're also addicted to a weird type of porn, bro.
Yeah.
But they don't, we're just talking about it.
Right. Well, they see it as brave. That's a word that gets thrown around too. You guys are so brave.
And most of us aren't. Most of us are not.
I am not brave. I'll tell you
most of us are not brave. No. It's just like we're just built different. Mm-hmm. And I have always been built a little differently.
I think that validation you were talking about too just trumps whatever fear I have of talking in front of 60 strangers. The risk to reward ratio in my head is just, I prefer the percentage. Like I know that there's a chance I'll do really well, and that high feels so much better than not going up.
See, that does sound a little brave to me, because to me it's more like I don't feel what most people feel about that. I am very terrified of things. Talking to a room full of 60 people has just not ever really been one of them. I've definitely like been nervous to fail, like to not have a good set.
Sure.
But I've never thought, man, when I get off the stage, it's like, dude, they didn't do it. Fuck that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, cool, dude.
Does it ever shift to peers for you where you're like, is it more stressful?
That's where it lives.
The other comics.
That's where it lives. And it's been detrimental to my career.
That's very hard.
It'll shape what you do, and then that won't necessarily lead to fandom. You know what I mean? Back of the room, we call it, chasing the back of the room.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's Kurt Metzger? One of the most, and I don't think he's not going to see this.
I love Kurt.
He would not be mad if he heard me say this. I don't think it's just. He's one of the most fucked up people I've ever been around.
Sure.
He's such a fucked up person in like this weird, beautiful, broken clown kind of way.
Yeah.
But he said to me once, I was opening for him. I won't say what we were doing because that part he might not want me.
Okay.
But anyway,
we can cut whatever.
It was like dark, and I was like, dude, it was cool. All the local comics came to watch you tonight. Mm. And he was like, you know what we call that, Morgan? That's back of the room laughs. He called me Morgan. I don't know why.
Sure.
And I was like,
I think because it's your last name as well.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I could see that, like I'm like this babe in the woods or whatever. And
right.
And he's like, let me tell you something. None of those people buy albums. At that time, that was how comics were making money.
Right. How long ago was this?
Probably 12 years.
Right. So it's a different industry at the time.
Yeah. And a different Kurt Metzger, and definitely a different Drew Morgan.
Sure.
But I was like, oh yeah, they don't, huh? But that definitely has been detrimental to me. I think we got off in the weeds. I don't remember what we were talking about.
No, I mean I think it's a fair point, and it kind of almost this whole conversation is related. And like, why are you doing it? Why are you getting up there? Are you getting up there to sell albums? Are you getting there because you love it? Are you getting up there to crush with the back of the room? Like, what? Why are you? It
changes over time, I think.
Right.
It has for me, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I've always been aware of it. Do you know what I mean? I think. I think at the core is that I love it.
Yeah.
I think the flip side of that, like paradox. I believe in that. I believe in like the shadow of everything. Everything has a shadow.
Yeah.
Is the addiction.
Sure.
I do love stand-up comedy.
Sure.
It also has this like negative good feeling of like the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
the sort of catharsis that you get, but it's not necessarily healthy because you're almost treating it like therapy, but there's no real feedback. Yeah. It's like, well, I made them laugh. It's like, that doesn't change the fact that what's going on with you and your wife is fucked up just because you made it funny.
And you're incentivized to keep talking about it and to keep, not fix it.
But I do think that's at the core of it for me is the positive, I love it, and then that negative, I'm a little addicted to it.
Sure.
But there's definitely been other things of like, I'm seeking validation. Validation in places that people typically in this culture look for at a young age came very natural to me. I think some part of me wanted to earn it. I was naturally good at sports, and I grew up in a small town, so I got a lot of accolades. Whereas if I'd have gone to a big school, I'd have had to like work harder to like get on the team and like get a starting spot. I was an all-state quarterback in high school. That's 100% true. You don't have to clap. Anyone can do it. That's an old bit of mine that I just stepped into.
Wrong button.
What was it?
It was
yeah. Oh no, that's better, dude.
First time I've used the button.
I was the valedictorian of my small high school. It didn't.
What town?
Sunbright, Tennessee.
Okay,
we're getting into all these old.
That's where you're at now, right?
I'm just north of there in Huntsville, which is where my wife grew up.
Okay.
I'm getting into all these old bits. Sunbright, we named it after the sun. I guess our first mayor was a caveman. Sun, bright, infrastructure bad. I still love that joke.
Love it.
But those things came naturally to me.
Okay.
I think part of stand-up was like, oh, this is hard, and I can't convince myself I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Like the laughs. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what
because I would get adulation from people. People thought I was like an alien, and I was like, I didn't trust it. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Yeah, I don't think I'm Goodwill Hunting because I'm the smartest kid in Sunbright, guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'm smart enough to know I'm not smart.
I was about to say, the wherewithal to know. Yeah.
Well, they told me, you scored in the top 1% on the TCAP test. And so I was like, oh, yeah? How many students are in Tennessee? And they're like, what? I don't know. And
4?
Like, yeah. It's like, it's not 4. Well, no, it's like, if I'm in the top 1%, that's like thousands and thousands of kids. And then also, because I was the smartest kid in my school, they'd send me to these competitions. We're close to Oak Ridge. Are you familiar with Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where they built the atomic bomb?
Absolutely.
These fucking physicist kids are in the 5th grade beating me at algebra when I'm a senior. And I'm like, guys, I don't know. I know y'all think I'm the smartest person in the world. I'm not. Yeah. I've seen the data.
Right.
And so I think stand-up for me was also that. And then I wanted the respect of my peers, so I tried that.
That's a big
Tried
one.
to get the back of the room on board.
That was hard.
That was hard for me.
Yeah.
Because stand-ups are tough, and then also I wasn't an underdog.
Right.
Like it was like, fuck this guy. You know. But I like that. I liked that. I liked New York over LA culturally. When I was a young comic, I lived in both places.
Yeah.
Because New York was, you'd kill and they'd pretend you didn't. And I'm like, all right, then I'll fucking get you next time.
I like that.
Whereas
more.
in LA, it was like they'd pretend they wanted to work with you, and they just were playing this game of like anyone could be famous to be nice to everybody.
Yeah,
it's a little gross.
Very.
It's understandable, but it's so gross.
Well, it's the culture of that city, right? It's not just stand up. That's LA.
Yeah. Well, and it's like there's just fucking millions of dollars in futures on the line.
Right.
And if you can keep that up and do a good enough job at it, it will help you. Like you got to be funny and you got to have the talent and all that. But like if you've been nice to everybody for 5 years. And pretended that they were great and made them feel good about themselves. Bill Clinton did.
Right.
If you've got the Bill Clinton gene, it helps.
Of course.
Then you got to be funny.
And like Brad Pitt was a waiter at one point. So it's like if you're nice to your waiter, he might be Brad Pitt.
Have you ever been around a comic who makes you feel like $1 million as a human? They're not that common, but when you are, and if they're also funny, they're going to be wildly... I'll tell you one right now, because this is a compliment. Okay. I'm not insulting her. She is hilarious. Laura Peak is so funny. She makes you feel like you're awesome as well. And then she can do that to the audience sometimes. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
That's Usama. I'll predict this right now. I don't know when this comes out. Usama's going to win.
Netflix?
Kevin Hart, funny as fuck, in my opinion.
All right. This will play so well when he does.
And if he doesn't, that's fine. It'll probably be Palufo.
Yeah.
Those happen to be the people that I'm probably the friendliest other than maybe Reg on the show. But anyway,
both great. Yeah.
All three great.
Yeah. And Delano too.
He has that.
Yeah.
They're all great.
Yeah.
He has that like ability to make you feel good, right? So like I do get why people do it, but anyway, I did find it off-putting in general.
Sure.
So anyway, so getting back to like that, like I chased it because I loved it. I chased it because it was fun.
Yeah.
The flip side of fun is addictive. I chased it because I wanted to earn it. The flip side of that is like, earn what? Like that's dark. You don't think you deserve respect. You know what I mean? And it's
It
like,
gets dark.
some part of me is like, grades were easy for me. So if you value me because I have good grades, and it makes me feel like you don't really know me.
It's cheap.
Yeah. Like sports were pretty easy for me. If you value me because I'm like the head of the football team, that's fucking cheap to me.
Yeah.
So I needed to earn something.
I relate to the academic one in a big way. Like I also went to public school in Tennessee. So again, it wasn't a challenge.
Yeah.
But I think really not until like senior year of high school when I started taking all these like dual enrollment AP classes did I go, oh, school can be challenging. I pretty much breezed my way through. So it wasn't, and again, this sounds braggadocious, but like I didn't challenge myself in any way. And the curriculum as it was not a challenge. You know, so it's like I kind of just breezed through. I mean,
that was me until law
rural
school.
East Tennessee. Right. So and even college. I mean,
I didn't do well in law school compared to my friends, even though I was capable, because I didn't step up at that time. Like it started to get hard, and I was like, I made excuses. I don't like this.
Sure.
I'm just gonna stick with it because I'll make a lot of money when I get out.
Mm-hmm. I also knew friends in school that would like go home with a D, and their parents would be like, "Good job, no Fs this week. Here's $100." And then I'd go home with an A minus, and it'd be like, "You need to do better."
Mm-hmm.
So grades were easy to achieve, but again, almost meaningless in a way where it's like I see the benchmark. I'm with other kids. I know that D's are celebrated in some house. So it felt again like I don't believe you when you're rewarding me for how good I am at this. Whereas with stand up, it is hard. Nobody's particularly that great at it all the time.
And almost no one's going to laugh for any reason other than that was funny.
Exactly.
And then the other thing is the sort of like little boy thing about it is like I never really felt, I guess this is so corny, but I didn't know this at the time, but looking back on it, being understood was huge for me. I didn't feel understood by my parents, by my peers. And I don't want the audience to agree with me. This is true. And the first person, believe it or not, I heard say this was Mark Norman. And I say believe it or not because Mark Norman usually won't go, like it's just all jokes.
It's all Mark. I mean? Yeah. That's my experience with
him.
He
said this, like in a moment of vulnerability, he said this, and I was like, fuck, that's me too. He goes, I don't care if you agree with me because it's not what I'm after. And he goes, and by the way, I get the comics who are. I get because what I'm after is when you laugh, I feel like you understand me.
Yes.
Not that you agree with my perspective on the world, but you get it. You must get it to find that funny. And I was like, brilliant. Oh, that is exactly what's going on inside little Drew's heart when he gets up there.
You just want people to be in on the joke.
When you laugh, you're not telling me I agree with how you see the world. You're just seeing how I see the world. Exactly. And it's funny to you too, and that makes me feel seen or whatever.
Seen, yeah.
And I think that that's important, but I think there's a flip side to that, where you get addicted to it, where it's like, well, going back to what I was saying, do you need 70 strangers in the room to see you, or do you need your wife to see you?
Exactly. Or your 2-year-old. Yeah. Well,
I need him to not see me because we've been playing hide and seek, and he's so bad at it.
You're a champ.
Brother, he's so bad at hide and seek.
You've got a car.
I crush him. Like, I've never been beat by him at hide and seek. And I don't know if there's like a rule against that. Yeah. Like, it doesn't feel like
Dude,
child
my dad's
abuse.
Been hiding for like 15 years. He's crushing right now. You want to talk? You want to talk about a streak?
Hell yeah.
He's kicking my ass.
The way I beat him is I pop out, and he's like, holy shit, I didn't know you were there at all. You know what
He thinks you're from another dimension.
Yeah, he thinks I can teleport.
Sure. Yeah. That's so funny. Well, I can relate
to it.
Your
dad won't even telephone. Let's teleport.
That's not
true.
I
knew we'd find
I've seen him. He's around. He
won't telephone.
No, yeah, he's unfortunately he's around. He walks around.
Is that true?
That's rough. I've picked him up a couple times. We can talk about it off camera, maybe more. Some of his family listens to the show. We'll talk more. I think that the 2-year-old thing is interesting too, like the fatherhood thing, because that's something I can't relate to at all. But in a lot of ways, I can just from my own upbringing and the like more lack thereof, maybe. Does that make sense? Like when you talk about parenting things, I'm not thinking, oh, I relate to that as the parent. I relate to that as the kid who I wish that my dad would have come on a podcast and been like, I really want to devote more of myself to my kid.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That goes back to, and again, not patronizing, that is what a 26-year-old probably should be working out if they don't have a kid themselves. I mean, sometimes that's tough where you're working it out and you're doing it.
Yeah.
But that could be a good thing too, because you will see yourself in the kid, and that can be very healing, for lack of a better word. And I'm sorry to like get into therapy, spiritual woo stuff, but I have one of those wives, and she's a very special person.
Dude, my mom's a psychologist. She's been on the show. Let's do it.
Right, and my mom like believes in my wife. Jesus Christ, my wife. I said mom because you did.
Freudian slip, they call it. Yeah.
Freudian slip it in. Know what I'm saying? By the way, I have a theory on that. Can we do that before we get into that?
Your theory on Freudian slip.
My theory on the Oedipus complex is, correct me if I'm wrong, call your mom if you have to.
We will.
The idea is men resent their fathers because their fathers are fucking their moms and they want to fuck their moms. Is that the Oedipus complex?
I think that's the broader
It's like a
Freud,
jealousy thing?
Essentially.
It's jealousy.
I think men want to sleep with their moms is kind of like Freud in a nutshell, right? Like
right.
That, yeah.
And then the resentment towards your father is that he gets to.
Sure.
I'm not going to wade into wanting to fuck your mom. There's something going on with Freud. I think it was all the cocaine. That was weird.
There's some weirdness.
You know, it was like, hey guys, you know how we all want to fuck our moms? And it was like,
yeah.
No.
And Carl Jung's like, I don't agree with this guy.
Carl Jung's like, I'd rather talk about the archetypes, big dog. And then, but for years, apparently, most of the West was like, no, I think it was the mom fucking guy that figured it out.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But here's what I will say: from my own kid now, the resentment towards your dad is not he gets to fuck mom.
Right.
That was Freud shit, dude. He needed to work that out with God.
Niche. Yeah.
You resent your dad because he won't let you do cool stuff. My son already resents me. It's not because I'm banging his mom. It's because I'm not, everybody. He's always with her. He kicked me off the tip. He has no resentment for me that I'm getting the boobs because I'm not. He's getting the boobs. He resents me because I won't let him jump off the top of his slide with a knife in his hand.
Right.
That's why he resents me because
he's
I'm
like,
not
you're really
cool.
harshing my vibe.
I'm harshing his fucking vibe.
Yeah, he's trying to
the
be
resentment
evolved.
is there.
Yeah.
It's not mom banging resentment. It's stop fucking up the vibe, you nerd resentment.
Right.
And he's right.
Quit protecting me.
I hate having to do it because he is the coolest guy I know. You know what he wants to do all day?
Please don't.
He wants to fucking eat chippies, suck titties, play outside, and throw rocks at people.
Dude, this is
while
incredible.
wearing sunglasses and playing with his naked dick. And I'm the guy being like, you're not allowed to do all that.
Right.
That's why he resents
He's
me.
like, this guy
And Freud's
sucks.
like, I think it's because you're fucking his mom. No, it's not, you weirdo. And
Quit bringing up the mom stuff.
I'm not fucking his mom,
Sigmund,
by the way.
what do we say about...
I'm
please.
here all the time. No one's fucking that kid's mom.
Sigmund, please stop bringing up the mom fucking thing.
You weirdo.
My mom's going to love that portion of this episode. I do think that...
And I'm a big fan of Young, by the way.
Well...
And I called him Jung until like 2 years ago, everybody. For years, I was like, that's like when white people say pho. Just say it how you want. And then I'm like, no, actually, it's his name. We should pronounce it.
Pho. I do that... Another, like...
That's how old my kid is, by the way.
The dad stuff
These
is
two,
also interesting because, like, to me, I think one thing that you said is, like, he resents you because he's trying to keep you from doing cool stuff. I had almost the exact opposite experience.
Well, that's
in that
way worse.
When
dude.
I would go to my dad's house, he would be like, this is Richard Pryor. This is NWA. This is Eddie Murphy. This is like, this is Def Jam. The sickest, until I would go home and mom would be like, you're 4. Stop saying all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right, too young. Too young.
I thought you meant 11.
No. Too young to where, like, I'm 6. I don't know what to do with this NWA fuck the police stuff.
But was he with you then? Like was he doing that and then
to connect?
That's kind of good.
Also because his mom found Pryor albums under his bed and smashed them. So he was like, I'm not going to do that to
really
you.
Sweet.
I'm going to, of course.
It's like not the right choice maybe, but it's really like
the
sweet.
intention is there.
Because what I thought you were going to say is I had the opposite in that my dad didn't give a fuck what I did.
There's some truth to that too.
And that part is hard.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Like giving a fuck but messing it up a little bit.
Sure.
That's like that's come
fun.
on. Look at it.
Well, also
Kid wanted to smoke. Like, what am I supposed to
the
do?
only
Like
way
cigarettes.
the only way I felt I could relate to it, like when we get together, and even still when I do see him, because occasionally family functions will be there, is like we talk about comedy, we talk about music. You've been in this house. There's 300 albums downstairs.
Yeah.
And I do stand-up comedy. So let's be honest, like
Carl
where are
Jung
the roots?
was right.
Right.
Well, I think whatever, we don't have to get into it, but whatever the issue is with you and your dad, I don't think it's because he showed you prior records.
No, of course not.
Like the pain that you feel isn't because he made the wrong decision in how he tried to connect, even if he made the wrong decision in how he tried to connect. I would say the pain that you feel has to do with not connecting at other points in your life.
Correct.
Not being there for you.
Yeah.
Being there inappropriately, it's like, I hope I'm there for my kid appropriately.
Sure.
But being there for him is what matters. And that's corny, but that's corny because it's a cliche, and it's a cliche because it's 100% true.
Sure. Most cliche, yeah. I mean, also like the cliche of like, I remember being a kid and being like, when I grow up, I want to be just like you, Dad. You know what you say to your dad, and him being like, no, you don't. I don't. There's some cliche in that too, maybe, that a lot of fathers think that, but I believe that he meant it also. You know, like he was aware of his own.
Was he right?
Demons. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course. And I think he knew and was aware of that. And I also had my maternal grandfather was like the key male figure in my life. Same thing. I emulated him. I loved him, and he'd be like, "Don't be like me." You know, like because all the things I didn't see. It wasn't like, you know, they listen to cool music, they drive around with sunglasses on, whatever. That's all cool.
Yeah.
The things I didn't know as a 6-year-old is what they were talking about when they were like, don't do this.
Like, what, like banging whores? Like, what are we talking about?
A little bit of that, a little bit of everything. Well, just addiction in every form, right? So like sex addiction, drug addiction, alcoholism, all the things.
Hell yeah, dude. All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff.
Destroys your whole life.
Right. I didn't know about that because I'm 6, and I'm like, I don't know what to do about this NWA thing. This is rocking my world right now. You know, man, the Dope Man, what a song. And I'm 6. And then I'm like, I don't know what to do about, I thought I wanted to be like them. They're telling me they don't. My only figures in life that like embraced me were all women. So then that gets tricky later on. You know, that gets weird.
I had a little bit of that. My dad worked on the road and was an alcoholic. He became a preacher and came off the road and turned his life around. And I saw that. But generally speaking, I was raised by my mom and her sisters.
How old are you at the point where that turns? Sisters.
He stopped drinking when I was 10. By the time I was 14, he was a full-time preacher. So that's like the sobering up was the most important.
Sure.
And then he was much more present. Because my dad wasn't much of a lay out all night, don't come home for days drunk. Because he worked away during the week. And he would act like, well, I got to do that because I make more money. But I was like, come on, dude. Like, you got to work, so you're just trying to do it in a different city so you can drink 24 beers a day and be with your boys and get in fights and probably every once in a while cheat on my mom. But the sobering up was huge. And then the preacher thing, it's weird because I am a preacher's kid, but I'm not. Because it didn't kick in until 14. And there was no, like, we didn't have to say it. I don't think I was conscious aware of this at the time. Maybe he was. But there's definitely like a... What, you gonna tell me I'm embarrassing the family, brother? Right. I remember when you raced Aunt Cindy barefoot drunk on the 4th of July because you're, quote, the fastest man in the neighborhood. Do you know what I mean?
What a prestige to bestow upon yourself. Within 6 houses, I'm fucking flying. I'm so fast.
To be fair to my dad, in case you clip that,
I'm not going to.
I'm embellishing a little bit of that story, but he did race my Aunt Cindy. But it was like because he was drunk and to shut my mom up.
Right. Did he win?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Smoked her.
Dude, it wasn't even close. I used to tell it on stage, and I changed it to a 15-year-old boy who happened to be really fast so that my dad would lose, you think, and then the joke is he wins.
Right.
Because, like, I tried to make it funny about Aunt Cindy, and I was like, oh, this is just one of those, this is sad. Like, I think it's funny, but everyone's bummed out. But anyway, redemption, my dad, like, figured it out.
Right. Mine still hasn't.
Yeah.
That's where it's tricky.
They rarely do.
Yeah.
I think it's probably what I respect most about my father, maybe along with, like, how hard he worked, like, being the generation that he's from, how hard it was to be a working man.
What year was he born? Do you know?
You graduated high school in 75, I think 58.
Right, so that would be almost on par, because my grandparents were super young when they had my mom. Mom was 17 when she had me, so that would be almost on par with my grandfather. I think he's 53. So it's those same work ethic, get up, put your boots on, I don't care if you're sick, go to work. All those same core things kind of made their way to me, but it's because there was a gap between, like my dad wasn't there, so it came straight, direct pipeline from my grandfather right to me.
Yeah.
And we lived in the same house until I was 8, and then he lived next door until I was 14. So
my brother got all that.
Yeah.
My mom buffered me from some of it by observing it not work.
The older brother, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So that I guess that does make sense too.
Yeah, I really got luckier than my brother.
Sure.
We were raised by 2 different men.
And also, if you're 14,
to be fair, 2 different women.
Right, of course. Well, yeah, byproduct of his change. If you're 14, how old's your brother when he becomes a pastor? What's the switch like?
18.
Right. Which is a different...
He was 14 when my dad got sober.
Yeah.
Which means he was 12 when my dad was racing women in the yard. And he thought that was, like he was just starting to be like, is this really awesome or does this suck? Whereas I was like, fuck yeah, my dad's the fastest man alive.
Go, Dad, go.
You ain't shit, Aunt Cindy. Heard you had hepatitis C, bitch. I don't think
Also,
my Aunt
this
Cindy has
potato
hepatitis
salad
C.
you made sucks. Yeah,
Nah, dude, Aunt Cindy can cook. She's crazy.
Ooh.
Crazy Southern women can cook, dude.
That's true.
Dude, the only people who can cook in America are black people and racists, and that sucks. And I don't mean like my aunt's racist. I mean like our people are. My aunt's actually not racist at all, but her people are. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Like
Southern white women named Cindy?
Yeah, dude, like Paula Deen type shit. Like
right.
Not all of them are racist, but their culture is.
Sure.
And that's why they learned how to cook. I can't explain
You've been
it.
to Paula Deen's restaurant? I say let her say it. If that's what it takes, dude, let her say it.
I have not been, and I do not believe that.
I don't believe it
that's
either.
That's not me.
I don't
Everybody,
believe it either.
he said it.
I don't believe it either.
Turn all the cameras
on. Her food is incredible, though. I do think
I think, to me, I get a little... my hackles up with Paula Deen because I do feel a little bit like she's Larry the Cable Guy for Southern cooking.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, he's funny, but that dude is from Nebraska. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, she can cook, but didn't she grow up on a plantation? That bitch didn't learn, like, she learned that from, like, her mammy, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway,
fair.
I'm a big class guy. Like, I got to find out, I'll let a lot go.
Yeah.
If she grew up poor,
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, you gotta let her say it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But if she grew up rich, like, nah, I ain't letting her say shit. I'll punch her in her face.
Yeah,
Fuck her pants.
You also, we should say it too. We haven't even talked about like
guy.
we did. You've headlined Don't Tell several times, and so you and I have interacted a bunch. I don't think this direct or 1-on-1, but I do think
I've never spoken to you in my life. This is the first
meeting
time I've
for the
chosen
first
to. Well, this is the first time I wanted to.
That's
Every
true.
other time has been against my will.
That's true. It's been at the obligation of a paycheck. I do think that in this conversation, though, just amazing. In this conversation, I think that one weird thing that you're mentioning is like that turn in your dad's life when you're 14 or whatever. And you said like your brother was raised by two different men. That hits home for me, and I get a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Right. We're raised by two different dads. I think that my grandfather had a switch allegedly when I was born that he got like a retry kind of because he really failed as a dad to my uncle.
I've seen a version of that, mostly with women all over my family.
Sure. So then the grandkid comes and they get to be fun grandma or whatever. In his case, though, it was so 180 that like when I tell my life story, and I've said this before on the show.
Your dad is ma'am?
No. When I tell my life story, my grandfather is my hero. When my mom tells her childhood story, he's the villain. Mm-hmm. It's that radical.
Is she mad about it?
Probably not anymore. He's since passed away. They made peace with it at the end.
I guess as
for a long time,
yes. She probably had the tools to process that a little better than everybody else. I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying she's like functionally aware of some stuff that other people aren't.
She also, much like your dad with the pastor example, she was in school pursuing psychology my whole childhood. She wasn't like she has a private practice now in an office and she's, Mrs. Psychologist. That wasn't until it was I was too old to reap the benefit,
Yeah, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about her.
Right,
I wonder if but anyway, I think that I used to have a bit about that. And I actually want to go back to it. I wasn't capable of it at the time, but I had this bit about basically how like I don't feel sorry for grandparents raising their grandkids anymore because like that's your fault. Like, and you know it.
It's a good premise.
You know what I mean?
It's a good premise.
And like,
yeah,
like you did that, and like you thought you were gonna die. It's kind of what made me think of it was I said hepatitis C a minute ago, and you just got hepatitis C, and they can fix that one, and now you're stuck here with this 4-year-old, and you have to do it.
They can fix that one.
Because I don't think they can fix AB.
Yeah, just as a
that
funny tag, they can fix that one.
They can fix it. So I just think that there is it's not true across the board, and also the opioid epidemic as one example. No one knew what the fuck's going on.
Sure,
it's really not my mama's fault. She's having to raise my brother's kids.
No,
but it's funny to think about. Like it kind of is. Like you fucked one up.
Right.
Now you got to do this one, bro.
Also, isn't that kind of the nature of stand-up of being like, we all agree on this thing, but I don't. That's like, that flip kind of is always a good jumping off point, I think.
Well, also like generalities allow people to like get on the same page with the premise, but like they're all bullshit. And I think most people know that. What gets dangerous with stand-up is it turns out I'm wrong. Most people don't know that. Like there's a lot. You want to hear a secret in stand-up, dude?
Please.
Everyone who has a huge audience, their audience agrees with them. Mm-hmm. Everyone who has, and you can try to think of an example like a Bert Kreischer who's like, what do you mean you agree with Bert? His whole thing is he doesn't have an opinion, and his fucking audience agrees with that.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right.
But like I had to go through that with Trey. For people who don't know, I used to tour with Trey Crowder, the Well Read Comedy Tour, Liberal Rednecks, all that. And I was in New York at the time, and it was like, all that matters is jokes and it was like, I had this thing of like, again, being obsessed with myself, the age, it's like the time to do it. I was in my early 30s, and I was like, oh man, we're hacks. We're pandering. It's, this audience is just coming out because they agree with us.
It's our crowd, right.
And then as time went on, I started to realize like, that is every person's crowd. What the manosphere, the Schultzes of the world, the Rogans to some extent, Theo even to some extent, Dave Chappelle saw this and dove head first into it, figured out is you can play both sides of it if you go, that's all bullshit, pandering, say what you want to a room full of people who feel that way.
Right.
To a room full of clapping people.
Right.
I'm so sick of stand-ups who play to a room full of clapping people, he says to a room full of adoring clapping people.
Right.
And I'm not hating, because I was doing the same thing, but I hated like this bullshit call out of like, clapter. They do clapter comedy. Well, yeah, I hate it too. But everyone who's ever said they hate clapter, they were practicing in clapter in that moment.
Right.
You're now endeavoring in clapter when you say you hate clapter.
Hoping that the person you're telling will applaud you for that.
Congratulations, big guy.
Right.
And it was really a beautiful move to be able to play the victim and the bully at the same time. That was like the most impressive move. When you look back on the sort of 2015-ish to 2023 run and weird flip of comedy, when you started, you're on the back end of it. But I watched it.
Yeah.
What we're really going to observe, in my opinion, is this really impressive move where the people who were most successful were bullies and victims at the same time. They were talking shit about trans people. They were talking shit about woke people. They were talking shit about gay people. But they were the victim of cancel culture while they did it.
Right.
And they weren't completely incorrect. There was definitely like the idea of like the woke mob was a thing. But it was like really interesting. Like, I always go to Dave because he's the most guilty of it.
Sure.
And he was the most aware of it.
Sure.
I think. They don't want me to say this, man. He said that on Netflix while he made $80 million.
Who doesn't want
Who?
Right.
I'm not suggesting there's not a person in the world that doesn't want you to say that, but the idea that you're like some kind of fucking underdog, Dave, you have your own logo on your jacket. Yeah. You're smoking inside. That's a $10,000 fine. They just let you do it.
You don't care. Right. Yeah, and I think I've only been doing comedy for 4 years, but my whole life I've worshipped it. And luckily, really, for me, most of my origins with it are, like, Dad was like a Def Jam guy, like that generation, the Bernie Macs, Pryor, Eddie, that stuff. Then my grandfather was like Dean Martin, Celebrity Roast, Bob Newhart, Andy Griffith, like old 60s, 70s stuff. So I didn't have a we talked about this on the show with other comic friends of mine. I missed Dane. I totally missed Dane Cook. I was too young. I was too old. I didn't.
Where's he at?
I miss him so much.
I miss you.
I didn't get to experience that shift. I didn't get to experience.
I mean, it was cool if you were the right age. I mean, I bet it sucked if you were 30. But goddamn, dude, if you were 20 like I was at that time, 18, oh my God, dude.
I just missed it. And I even like Chappelle Show, I had one of mom's friends loved, so I got exposed to that. But I think I was too young.
Long term, that proved to be a bigger shift.
Sure.
It's kind of interesting that Chappelle is doing what he's doing now, which is essentially like anti-identity politics.
Yeah.
When he invented it in comedy. Identity politics comedy.
That's interesting.
And he even says, like, he'll frame it as like, if you think about it, Amy Schumer just took my show but made it bitches.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, that's true, Dave. But if you're going to take credit for that, you kind of got to take the blame for then, like, all this identity politics.
Sure.
By the way, the Liberal Redneck Manifesto is a book that I am one of the 3 co-authors for.
Yeah.
I'm someone who did this. I'm not shitting. I'm not trying to shit on Dave.
No, not at all.
I'm pointing out that, he did identity politics.
Yeah.
To his credit, he kind of not invented it, but made it mainstream.
Right.
And then he, now is like, you're not allowed to say anything.
I do think that's why, not to bring up last night, but we were talking about Steve Martin last night when we were out for dinner. And I think
special.
That's a special one in a way where he is the first guy to do arenas. He's doing 40,000 people in 1975, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
then he just quits. So we don't know a Steve Martin that 40 years later he shifted and he started saying comics shouldn't do arenas. He never got that. Like that isolates him in a cool way where we never got to see that flip where he become the hypocrisy.
He's special.
Never got to happen, right? And there's a couple of those guys, but he's so special. And Dave is arguably one of the better comics of all time and prolific. A lot of people say it. I don't know if I believe it, but a lot of people do say it. And I think that an issue with such longevity is you have time to become a total hypocrite to everything you've ever done or said.
That's true, and you see that in other places for sure. But I also think that part of the issue with Dave is that he, for me, is that he, and this is not me trying to shit talk Dave as a person. If I can shit talk him a little bit as a comic,
please do.
And I aware I'm the
guy.
He
listens to every episode.
Well,
of the show,
well, I just mean I want to say that I'm totally aware that this is the guy who didn't make the G League trying to talk about Cade Cunningham.
Oh, right.
I purposely didn't say LeBron James because I don't think Dave Chappelle is that.
Okay.
And I'm about to talk about why.
All right. Break it down.
It's so uninteresting for the cool rich guy to like try and be the victim and the cool rich guy and the maligned, misunderstood artist and the greatest of all time. Which is it, brother?
Right.
Are you the best stand-up to ever live? Are you maligned and misunderstood?
Yeah.
Which fucking is it?
It's confusing to the audience.
Whereas had he said, and this would have been more honest in my opinion, trans people freak me out. Here's some jokes about that. Instead of I'm angry, and this is some white people shit, which erases the entire history of the trans movement.
Not true, yeah.
I mean, like, it was a black trans woman who started the fucking riot, supposedly, at Stone, what's it called in New York? Anyway, the Pride riot that became now the Pride Parade in New York. But all the woke, you're erasing history shit aside, just on a very, like, gut level, I'm way more interested in an uncle, because that's what you are now, brother.
Yeah.
You're an old man.
Yeah.
What's that perspective? Not, I'm the lead of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
To be the lead of the zeitgeist, you went out and found a new audience.
Yeah, right.
That's fine, but let's not pretend that's not what you did. Louis doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're both so good that they can still keep their foot in that other world. And it's just less interesting to me than Bill Burr, whose perspective as an older comic now is, I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah.
And people would say, oh, you're being woke, or you're just saying that you agree with this guy. Well, first of all, yes, and that's what you're saying about Dave.
Right.
If you're defending him or getting mad at me. But second of all, what I'm really saying is take the honest perspective. That's what's interesting. I am a 55-year-old black man, and trans people kind of freak me out. We needed that. We actually needed that.
That's also an honest voice.
The honest,
that people can relate to. And,
choice.
Or not relate to at all, which also intrigues them.
There you go.
Right.
And I feel that way about a lot of comedy right now. There's no vulnerability.
Pandering is a lot of it.
I think so. And the irony being that they started off correctly calling everyone else panderers.
Sure.
They correctly were like, this bullshit is pandery. I can't even think of who, because one thing they did make up is like, oh, they're just doing that for money. Nobody got big. Right. None of that woke pandery comedy really got big.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous woke comedian? Mark Maron? The guy was like a controversial asshole for the first 35 years of his career. He only got woke as an old man.
Right.
Who's the most famous? I'm genuinely asking. Who do you think is the most famous woke comedian?
Who's the one that? Well, I don't know about most famous, but the most common answer that I would hear to that question is Hannah Gadsby. Remember when that special came out and everybody was like, "It's just pandering. It's just woke thoughts. It's not even comedy." I remember that being a big. That's right as I'm entering.
I think that's notoriety. I think that's infamy. I don't think Hannah Gadsby could sell out a fucking apartment in Bristol right now.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Right.
And I don't say this shit on her or they. I'm just saying the point I'm trying to make is what was true is they were like, this is pandering, that whole group. What was untrue is they were like, and you're just doing it for money. And then it's like, I don't know, dude. It didn't seem to be working out. Even then, wasn't like people were getting hella deals out of it.
Is that the opinion of someone who's not making money? and they're like, oh, they're just doing it for money, but it's a
for some
resentment.
For people like Schultz, I think he's a genius. I think Andrew Schultz is a marketing genius.
I agree.
I think Andrew Schultz knew that there was that what's the word I'm looking for? Not resentment. That doesn't matter. Bitterness, whatever there was.
Yeah.
Culturally, and then he could latch on to it. And I think that was
what he did during the pandemic.
Also
too,
brilliant.
Those short is like right, and
he's a marketing genius.
I think when we talk about like Steve Martin, Chappelle, Dane, Schultz, even Hannah Gadsby, whatever you look, there's all these characters in this like almost like organic living thing that is this 50-year plus tale. Everybody's shifting it in some way. Right, but that
everybody big enough, I guess.
In some cases, they shift it one way, and then 40 years later, they shift it back on themselves or a different way. And I think to your Louis point too, like that's my guy. Louis is my number one.
I think he's probably the best to have ever done it.
I agree.
Pound for pound.
I agree.
Like he's not always been the best alive. There was definitely a moment where Bill Burr was the best alive, and Louis had like faded, but just because he was focusing on other things.
Sure.
He's the Michael Jordan of it. LeBron James would beat the fuck out of Michael Jordan one-on-one right now. Right. Everyone knows that that's not the debate.
Right.
We're arguing at their height. At his height, I think Louis was the best to ever do it. I think that you can make an argument for Pryor or Murphy, depending on the angle you want to look at.
It's hard. That's a hard argument. That's like saying like, oh, you know, fucking what the best. I'm sports illiterate, no dad, but I do think that I hear that all the time of like the Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and then some older guys are like,
Kobe's stupid.
No, way back, Julius Erving, whatever. Like,
you think,
how do you
think that's with Pryor? Maybe that's not. I don't think that's true with Murphy. I think if I had with Murphy is he quit.
He quit.
He had like I think 3 specials. I could be wrong, and then he went and did movies.
Delirious, Raw, and is there a third one?
I thought so. Maybe there's just 2. But my point is like he arguably could have been there.
Sure.
I do think Dave Chappelle it could have been close. But like, dude, if you look at it, Killing Him Softly is unbelievable.
So good.
And honestly, in my opinion, I don't know why I'm whispering like he's here or something. But I just know how people feel about him. But I'm like, there's a phenomenal special. If you take the best 20 minutes from the 3 Netflix ones.
Sure.
And people are like, what? I'm not trying to shit on Dave. I'm trying to say if you're asking me who's the best, I'm going to say none of these specials stack up to the 3rd best Louis C.K. special.
Right. Agreed.
At all.
Agreed. And in the opposite of Dave, I think that some of Louis' more recent work is as prolific, if not more, than everything he did before.
I'm not against seeing it.
The Sorry and Sincerely, those 2 that he put out, it's like 2019, 2020, something like that, right after Cancellation, is pound for pound, I think, the best Louis.
Really?
I think it's the best Louis.
God, I hated Sorry. I thought you were talking about more recent
really?
than that.
No. I love him. I
thought it was one of the most dishonest things I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because of the controversy, his reaction to that. Or you mean the material itself?
But they were in that. I mean, it's fucking called Sorry.
Right.
They were the same thing. I think it was his, nobody wants me to say this. I think it was the
That's
like
fair.
academic or artistic equivalent of like, nobody wants to say this when you know in your heart, everyone wants you to say this.
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry.
There's a giant word behind you that says sorry. I don't guess, to be fair, I'm also such a lifelong fan of him that I'll not view it as objectively as maybe I should. But I do think
I'm not saying I'm being objective. I'm a stand-up comic. I just didn't think it was a good special compared
I think the material lives in my head.
I think
in a way.
Chewed Up is.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
You know
what? The other day I was driving to Raleigh and I was like, I'm gonna throw in some old different comedy albums of like guys like Louis or Chappelle, but way back. I listened to Louis Live from Houston. I think it's 2001. It is.
Is that the one with the itchy buttholes on that Dane stole from him?
I think so. Yeah. So fucking interesting because it's like the skeleton is there. Like when you're listening to it, you're like, yeah, this is Louis. Like you can tell it's Louis, but it's like a different. It's 30
He hasn't made that
years
leap
ago.
yet.
Right. It's so that,
That's
and even like I have downstairs, I have Pryor's first album, original press. When you put it on, you go, that's Richard Pryor, but he wasn't yet. You know what I mean? Like, and also that's at an age or a generation of stand up when his first album was him at peak success because he's touring nightclubs and there is no other comedy. You know, like it's a different thing, and he had been doing it for years before he put that out. But then listen to that first one, which I can't say the title, I can't say the name of, and then put on Live at the Sunset Strip. It's different guys. What we really never got to see with him,
put them both together,
and then put one 30 years later. Does he totally become a hypocrite? Does he, also he had ALS or whatever, and like his whole life changed.
I'm not uninterested in that.
Yeah.
Like I'm be curious about like if you could press a button and show me what it'd be like.
Yeah.
But it's not that relevant to me 30 years later. Like I said what I said about not liking Sorry, but that has no effect on my feeling of, I mean, I do think he's the best to have ever
Yeah,
done
you said
it.
that first. Right.
So, like, that doesn't have a lot of bearing on it for me, you know?
Yeah.
With Dave, the issue is it was Killing Him Softly, then the Chappelle Show, which isn't stand-up, but it's part of his thing.
So prolific.
And then so many years passed, there was nothing else for me to I have to include these in your conversation because if not, you only got Killing Them Softly, and now we're back to the Eddie Murphy issue where I can't call you the GOAT because you didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
with Dave, I have to include your later work.
Yeah.
With Louis, I'm like,
What's
I don't know,
the
man. You already
Netflix-
earned it. You
I
already
think-
are the GOAT. You can't ruin it now.
Right.
You cannot ruin it. You're already the
Right.
GOAT.
Like when Jordan comes back from retirement and plays for the Supersonics. You're
Or
like,
the
he's still
Wizards.
Jordan. Or
Yeah.
the Wizards. Right.
It's
like,
like,
he's still,
that's exactly what it is.
still Jordan.
It's like you're
Yeah.
still Jordan.
Yeah.
Whereas with Dave, I don't consider that Netflix run with Bird. What is it?
oh,
Anti-spin zone Bird.
crazy title.
I don't.
And deep in the heart of Texas.
I don't.
or whatever.
I don't consider that his Wizard era because he didn't have the Bulls championship. But I have to include this in your legacy for me.
Sure.
Sure. Anyway.
It's a valid argument. I also think with,
By the way, the person who should be in this conversation and is never included in our conversation and in generally is Cat Williams.
thank you.
Cat Williams had a 3 or 4 special run that is the funniest anyone's ever been.
Pimp Chronicles is easily
the funniest anyone's ever been.
one of my favorite specials, top 3 specials of all time. And I have a friend who's like a stand-up fan. He doesn't do comedy, but he's been on the show. He will die on this hill that Cat Williams does not get the respect that he deserves, and I agree with him so much. He's the only, like, I would say casual comedy fan I've ever heard bring up that point. But he grew up on Pimp Chronicles and all these things, and it's interesting to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because he has no industry knowledge and no the way that you and I examine it, he does not. But he's also the kind of guy who's like, the Matrix movies, the 2 and 3 are better than 1. He's always that guy who's like, what? Like
He's trying to have like the alternative
a little bit.
anyway.
So I don't know with him, but with Cat, we always wind up there in that conversation where it's like, I think not enough people are saying it.
My favorite joke, I think, of all time, and I change my mind every once in a while, but I'll say for now, is Mauled by a Tiger, Cat Williams. And it's this bit about 2 dudes in San Francisco who fell into the tiger cage, and the tigers attacked one of them. And it's a very baseline story joke about how ridiculous, like, and you gonna get mad at the tiger?
Yeah.
And they had to do on a zoo on there talking about, well, the tigers have never done this before. If they do it again, we might just have to get rid of him. You gonna blame the only real motherfucker in this whole goddamn scenario? So it's so funny as a story.
Right.
The reason it's the best joke of all time is then it becomes about being black in America. And not subtly.
Right.
He literally said, white people. And he gets a laugh right there because of the pause.
Yeah.
If you can't understand what it's like to be a tiger in a cage in a zoo in San Francisco, you will never understand what it is to be a black man in America. It's this like cogent Chappelle-esque point.
Right. Which is not pandering.
Wrapped in this Def Comedy Jam story. He's making fun of the dudes.
Yeah.
He's talking about how they're gay, or he alludes to it, and he's not like making fun for being gay. He's saying if 2 gay dudes fall in a zoo in San Francisco, that's funny. Right. And so it's like this very like base level humor in your gut. Man, I shouldn't be laughing at this construction zone humor. The funniest dude you ever worked with, but he could never do stand-up comedy level funny.
Right.
And then it's Richard Pryor, George Carlin, who also belongs in this conversation, but everyone always mentions him.
Absolutely.
Conversation about how he makes it about race. Well, it's not my favorite joke is, and then you said Lavelle Crawford, the grocery store bit, that it's just, but I think the Chappelle or the Cat Williams bit is better.
I think that, well, there's a ton of figures that we could include that don't, like, I think Bernie is one that doesn't get brought up enough. I think Norm gets brought up a lot, but maybe still not enough. The problem is they're all so unique that it's like, it's not like basketball. It's not who scored the most goals. That's not a thing.
I think Norm, though, and this is a little bit true of Chappelle because Chappelle's show, I think Norm gets a lot of credit for how good he was at interviews
outside of stand-up
before podcasting, and he does deserve credit for that. But if you just look at his stand-up, I really don't think the last 2 are the only things that come close.
Did you watch the
What's your favorite Norm joke?
Oh God. Well, it's all from talk show panels. Right.
It almost always is for somebody, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He didn't put himself And that was his thing. And in a lot of ways, I honor him for that. But that makes him the ultimate comics comic. It's almost like he sacrificed ever even being one of the greatest of all time to the world.
Yeah.
So he could be all our favorite because he didn't put hardly anything of himself until the end. My favorite Norm joke is the one about suicide. And he's in it. He's in it. You ever heard somebody say, somebody commits suicide and they go, well, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
What? You don't understand?
Yeah.
You ever heard of fucking life?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Norm.
Right.
Whereas
that's a glimpse at his himself, not the character.
Whereas the character thing was for us.
Sure.
And I appreciate that. Yeah. And some people, Sam Talent's definitely one of them, would be like, no, that's what makes him the best. And I just disagree.
Sam is another one that, as far as like I've been in the room and witnessed who's the greatest at the thing that we do, it's unbelievable.
He is the funniest white man alive.
When Sam...
I will say, and I'm not trying to be woke, there are 7 black comics who do that nightly in Atlanta.
Oh, I believe that. I believe Atlanta's absurd. I do think that Sam... He, for me, again, I saw him for the first time live after doing stand-up. Read the book, started stand-up, not related, but started stand-up, then reread it, then saw him live. He did Don't Tell Knoxville. Every comic in East Tennessee and surrounding areas went that night because we were all like, Sam's now, we got to go see. Probably 20 of us were standing in the back of the room. I bet you fucking 5 of us are still doing it. Most of them, after that, were like, I quit. I'm never, all these open micers that I used to do shows with, I'm saying.
They saw it and they were like, I can't achieve that.
I'll never do what he did. I didn't know until Toad's Morale came out.
I'll never do what he did, but I'm okay with that. That's interesting. Go ahead.
Well, it's people who were never going to make it. You know what I mean? But like that was their deciding factor. Until his special came out, Toad's Morale, I didn't know he did an ounce of material.
And then I think there was a time where he barely did. Although sometimes his crowd work was, pre-baked, I think.
I think that's what happened. But he's so seamless, you have no idea.
He's a killer, dude. He's just a natural killer. But he's also a great, like, he used to write, I don't know if he still does, for Ron White. Like, so it wasn't like he didn't have the jokes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, not at all. It's just so seamless in the room, in the moment, that he's the best in my mind for that. Where it's like, what he was doing, I've never seen someone else do, and I can't do it. It's not how I do it. It's so brilliant to watch unfold. And then there's other guys like Dale Jones we were talking about last night, where like,
oh my God,
dude, what he does to a fucking room is unlike anything I've seen. It's not in the same way as
pure
Sam.
Pure
annihilation, full gas, no breaks. I did 3 shows with him across that weekend in Chattanooga. I bet you he did
2 jokes tops.
2 jokes, but never repeated the same thing twice across 3 shows. And also he's a 30-year comic. So, but you go, how deep is this well? How, like, if I just give you a room full of people that never got tired and you never got tired, how many hours could you just stand up there and crush? 40, 60? Like, I mean, it seemed to never end from the time he stepped up there to the end.
Yeah, it's like a magic trick, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it in a positive way. Like, it's truly magical. Yeah, that stuff is interesting to me. I've touched that stuff. I've never been able to transmute it through myself on stage constantly, but I've touched it.
Sure.
I've like been in the pocket, as it were.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't think about that stuff. I'm always in awe of it. I love it when I can't do what they do.
Yeah.
My favorite comic, 9 out of 10 days, when you ask me, is Maria Bamford. And the reason why is I have no idea what she's doing.
Yeah.
With Bill Burr, who, when I was like really coming up, he was the best at that time.
Sure.
Louis had gone off to do his TV shows. Rock had kind of faded. Chappelle had fucked off or whatever.
Yeah.
The best person alive at one point was Bill Burr.
Sure.
I knew what he was doing. I just couldn't do it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was like a basketball coach telling you what LeBron's doing.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, but he's not 6'9", 260 with the skills.
Sure.
With Maria, I'm going, that shouldn't work. That makes no sense.
Yes.
And I felt the way I assume an audience feels when they're just enjoying a comedy show. And that's why I love her so much, is I'm like, what?
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference in seeing a really good magician who's good at magic and you go, that's a great magic trick, and seeing someone who you go, he's magic. That a magic trick.
You're like freaked out the way black people are.
Right. Run out of the room. Yeah. Magic trick is like, I don't know how he did it, but I know it's a trick.
Yes.
Magic is, what the fuck is going on? It's 2 totally different things.
And there's people in this industry who don't believe in the second one. And some of them will make it, but they're not ever going to be special.
Yeah.
There's one in particular, I won't say his name. I don't like this guy. I don't know him very well.
I can cut it.
I don't know him very well, but I didn't like meeting him. And then he eventually, at some point, we were backstage at Largo, and he said a thing, and it fucking bugged me for a while, and I couldn't figure out why. And he goes, "Stand-up's just a party trick." He's like, not anyone can learn it, but most people can learn it. Blah blah blah. And then I saw him put out a special that was like kind of themed, and it was sort of a one-man show. And it didn't do that well, and I kind of hate watched it. Like this guy, there was like a few things that he had done and said over time that made me like,
sure.
And I watched it and I go, this dude thinks he's an artist, and then has seen people who aren't artists do well in a room,
right,
and then wrote stand-up off. Rather than, if you were a fucking artist, you would just bring that to stand-up. You would bring the artistry to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of validated me, so that felt good. But that's when I kind of came up with this, like, not theory, but this thing of, like, there are people who just don't believe in that thing you just said.
Yeah.
They don't think that, like... But then how would they react to Sam Talent?
I think it'd be difficult to fill a room of 100 people, put Sam on stage for an hour, let's say, even 30 minutes. And afterwards, poll them, it'd be difficult for 100 of them to not go, that was fucking awesome. That was insane.
Sure.
I can't imagine a world where they don't.
But I'm talking about, like, stand-ups. I'm trying to, like, imagine the ones I'm thinking of. I wish I could say the dude's name. Be like, I wonder what he thinks about Sam Talent. I would actually like to... I'd actually like to know. Like, I'd like one of his friends to ask him about it on a podcast and hear his genuine, unguarded, doesn't know... I'm interrogating him answer.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I also, okay. Yeah.
That guy sucks.
Yeah.
Very talented, though.
Well, I also, like, Andrew McCaffrey. I love Andrew.
No, I know I said talented.
Right. Sorry.
Got him.
Sorry, that was a typo. I think another interesting, like, also you and I you more than me, but we both examine stand-up in such a different lens than like the people who would be in that audience to begin with.
Most people don't, which is good. Don't examine it. They just have fun.
Right.
Which is good and bad. Because then, like, you got smart people. Well, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's almost similar to me trying to have a conversation about the greatest basketball player. I don't fucking know. But I know what I see. You know, like, I don't know. I didn't play a lot of basketball as a kid. I can dribble and I can shoot a basket, but I don't, the finer points of it, I have no interest in knowing, and I don't know. So that voice to me, a lot of people write off as like, well, he's not a stand-up. His opinion doesn't matter. I almost think it's more important. Because isn't that what we're fucking up there for anyways? Like, I'm not...
More important to what?
To the art itself. Is like, the whole point is to entertain the 100 people sitting in the chairs, not the 20 comics in the back row.
You said entertain and you said art. And I want to be clear that I separate the two.
Okay, sure.
In terms of definitionally, but I do think they go together.
Sure.
Part of the art form of stand-up is being entertaining. If you're not being entertaining, you're not doing it.
Right.
But I don't know. This stuff can get very heady. This is kind of related to the self-navel-gazing stuff. And again, I want to be... I don't know why I keep qualifying this. I think it's because I like you. But like,
appreciate it.
You should be thinking.
Drew likes.
Now they saw it, dude. You got to bleep that out. They saw the name.
McCaffrey, I'll blur it. Drew likes me. Got it. Got one tally.
You should be thinking about it.
Sure.
I'm tired of that, dude.
Yeah.
I just, I'm trying to go up there and say what I want to say. And what I've been working on lately, I really need to work on word economy. I've been stretching for so long and touring for so long. I've got the road all over me.
Right.
I can kill about anywhere, but then I go look at the tape. You're a wrestling show.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought I was transmuting Jesus. I mean, I was burning it down.
You kind of were.
Tape sucks, bro.
Really?
Because I've learned how to be magic a little bit.
Right.
But career-wise, I'm trying to get a tape right now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I'm working on word economy. I'm working on also, I do think that I have achieved, other than the word economy thing, I think I'm pretty close to where I want to be and then put an hour out. I am not, I get the words confused, prolific. Takes me a long time to get a set to where I want it and then do another one. I need to fix that.
Is that perfectionism, or is it like what's the root of why does it take you so long?
Fear.
Fear of failure, fear of I put this out and it's not where I want it to be, fear of others' opinions on it, all the above. Like
I think all of the above.
Yeah.
And then also just letting go of a joke.
Sure. Burning material. Yeah.
Just like being precious about it, which is fear.
Because are you able to convince yourself that once you put out this hour, you're like, I'll never write a joke that good ever again? Is it that level of
No,
fear?
I think I know I can write a joke at that level
Well, that's
again. Good. It's more like, is it ready?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have experience putting one out and then like realizing later what the problem was with it, where it was a 7.
Sure.
My Amazon special is full of these. Now, I knew it would be. It's a pandemic special. The pandemic ended.
Yeah.
People were dying for stuff. We were back out touring. We were making more money than we ever had. People were coming out, and also they hadn't paid rent in a year, so they had money to spend.
Right.
And Amazon and this production company was like, hey, now's the time. Everyone's doing a pandemic special. And Roy Wood Jr., who's been very kind to us all throughout our careers, we called him and we were like, what's up? And he goes, there's no way to do this and it not be a pandemic special. He said, you can't put something out right now and not talk about it. Right. But you have to understand that that's what this is now. And then what he said was, but what if you don't get another one for 6 years? Hey, that happened to me. Sure. So my special is so of the moment.
Right.
And not on par with how good I am.
Right. So when
even at that time,
when others
especially
see
now,
it,
yes,
you go, that's not a reflection of me anymore.
At all.
Or maybe not even at the time.
And it really wasn't a reflection of me at the time because we'd only been back on the road for 5 months after having a year and a half off.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that put a lot of negative vibes inside me about how to do things. Then you do the don't tell. I did the first one. I didn't have a great set. No one did. I think Aaron Weber put his out from that recording and no one else. There are some big names who were there recording that night who've gone on to do amazing. And one's on SNL now. Didn't put his out. We didn't put our stuff out because it just sucked. It wasn't just me, but it was me. We just had a baby. Or no, we were about to. I was a wreck. I said, I'm not putting it out. The next one is probably the thing I'm most or second most professionally proud of in my life. My don't tell is fire.
Yeah.
It's not for you. It's not, it's not for their audience. Sure. Unfortunately, it didn't go super viral because it's for 40-year-olds and they don't have a lot of 40-year-olds watch it. But the comments are all the comments are so good. They validate what I felt about it. People are like, this dude didn't fucking miss. Like, who is this guy?
The economy's there too, you think? Like the metrics you measure yourself by.
I worked very hard at it.
You nailed it. Yeah.
And but by then don't tell it's still big, but it wasn't blown. If the first one had been as good, I really think it would have helped my career
as new
a lot
and
more.
hot
Because don't tells were doing a lot more for people when I had that first recording.
Sure.
So I have that experience too. So it's there's all this fear, but all that comes back to trying to make it instead of trying to just be great at comedy.
Right.
And so that's where I've been focused lately. And I'm like, how do I need to get better? I need to do this word economy stuff. And then I also need to just do it, put it out. Do it, put it out. Do it, put it out. Yeah. I have this bit that I haven't quite perfected that I'm in love with. That's about the gay Filipino basketball league.
Yeah, I'm aware. I watched it last night. And I watched it crush a room, by the way, where it had no business doing as well as it did. And I've said this about you before, maybe even on the show, when you're not, you're one of the guys I think of when I think of deal him the shittiest hand of cards.
Oh,
and
great.
Watch him win.
That's what people are giving me, brother.
And watch him win.
Yeah.
I just what you can do in a room.
I'm a professional.
That is right, but it's also it's not. That's magic. That's not a trick.
No.
That's not a trick.
No, it's just my version of it. I can't do what Sam Talon does, but I can do my version of that.
Right. That's 100%. Drew Morgan magic. Yeah.
And like Sam, it's getting me respect from people, but no deals.
Sure.
The book changed his life because then it made people watch him and then they found out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He was always that.
Always.
Right.
And if I ever get my moment, people will be like,
they'll know.
Damn, that dude figured it out. Right. And people like you will be like, he figured it out 6 years ago.
Sure.
You figured it out.
Sure.
But I will say this, just being honest, I figured it out 4 years ago, maybe 3, maybe 5. I'm not good with it.
And that's after that don't tell.
I think at the beginning of it. I think that was it.
Okay.
I think the failing the don't tell and then getting right back on it.
Yeah.
By the way, I have nothing but positive things to say about Kyle. and Brad, the like founders of Don't Tell
Yeah.
and the people who like started it. I don't know
It's
what
a great
it's like.
company. I love them very much.
I was gonna say I don't know what it's like to produce this.
I'm obligated. I'm not, but I am wearing their hat.
Well, I don't know what it's like to run like the Don't Tell shows, but in terms of Don't Tell as a brand with like the specials,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, dude, this ain't it.
Mm.
And he goes, yeah, man, it's not.
Mm.
I gave you this spot because I saw what you did in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what, let's record the next one in San Diego.
Mm.
And I said, you're goddamn right. Brother, I don't know why, but I'm murdering. I've never
Really?
had a bad set in San Diego.
Really?
It's a purple place.
Right.
It's like the right kind of different and the right kind of same as me.
Super military.
Yep.
Super. Right. The blend.
I opened that set. We didn't leave it in.
Yeah.
Actually, we did. It was up San Diego, the gayest military town in America. And that's what it is. It's the gayest military town, and I'm about to murder if we're in a gay military town.
Well, sure. I grew up in like I spent my summers in the like Virginia Beach, Norfolk area. That's also a very military place. But
they're all gay.
But the gays not as
they're not as open
San Diego.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right. It's still East Coast.
Yeah.
It's still under. So it's
and
a different
still
thing.
south of the Mason-Dixon, I think.
It's a different town. It feels like it if it's not.
What the fuck was I saying? Oh, but I think like that process of all right, I'll just get back on my horse and do it again then. And then nailing it.
What's the timeline between the first recording and then San Diego?
I barely remember. I cannot tell you enough how much trauma I went through with my wife almost dying.
Yeah.
With the childbirth. In the first one, I have some clips from it. She's in the front row, pregnant as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably a month after that, she almost dies. Then there's 6 weeks that I don't remember.
Sure.
The first 6 weeks of my son's life, I have no memory of.
Totally.
I was doing everything. She was bedridden. I would walk him to her.
You don't know.
I don't even know if I was doing stand-up then.
I was gonna say, and then at the time, there's also the industry going, Drew, where you at? And you're like,
well,
I'm fucking.
They didn't
doing
care.
this.
I didn't put. That was the first one, and that didn't never come out. Then shout out to Keith and Matt. We had Culture Court at the Comedy Store. Keith had seen me in San Diego crushing and was like, "Why are you not getting any love in L.A.?" And I'm like, "I don't know. My theory is I can't do 3-minute sets. That word economy thing."
Sure.
He puts me on Culture Court, makes me the bailiff. We start that. It's at that time it was every comic's favorite show at the store. Yeah. Every comic, all the open mic, like store open micers, the door guys, whoever.
What year is this too, roughly?
I mean, this was only like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, so like Kill Tony's already moved on. It's already the thing that it is, and it's all right.
But we can't figure out how to clip it. That's then the issue with Culture Court is we can't. So anyway, I'm like, all right, I'm in at the store a little bit now.
Yeah.
Emily's giving me looks. I'm kind of fucking them up. I finally figured out the problem there, which is like just do shorter jokes. Anyway, I'm saying this to say, then I know that I have the Don't Tell, and I know I fucked one up, and I just go back to basics.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try a new joke. I'm not going to do one that's been killing, but it's only 2 months old.
Right.
This is how you do stand-up, brother.
Yeah.
And you pull every trick. Jordan Fisher went in front of me, burned it down.
Really?
I don't remember the last time I saw a set go that well for someone.
Wow.
And you're standing back there and you're going,
my
white ass is next.
Yeah, I'm next.
And I might call myself a pussy for doing this on a non-recorded show, which I used to have that feeling. Now I do it all the time because it worked then, and I realized, who cares? I walked right up there, and I go, we're recording, but before we get into what I'm going to say that's going to go out, fuck that guy. Fuck you, Jordan Fisher. The audience is dying. He hasn't even made it to the back. He's like laughing and waving. I'm like, why would you do that to me? And I go, you know what? Thank God he's short. Because how hot is that guy? And how funny was he? And I hated him. And I walked over and I was like, well, at least he's 5'4", you fucking piece of shit. He's dying laughing. And I'm like, when I got back there, I go, I want you to know, I know that's cheating. And I want you to know this is the biggest compliment I can give somebody. You left me no choice.
But to cheat.
I had to cheat.
Yeah. That is a huge
and shit on you.
Right.
To get out of what you just did.
Right, because how do you
transition?
How do you take the audience from him to you? Right. How do you,
And if you can ride it, which is what I did.
Yeah.
We're in a good mood. Jordan killed. Okay, here's this guy. Holy shit, he's shitting on Jordan. This dude don't care, and he's acknowledging what we all felt. Okay, cool. Now we're in. We're in on this guy. Or if I just opened with my first joke, it'd be like, whatever. And then I burnt the goddamn room down.
Well, of course.
I got out, and Kyle and Cole were like hugging me, and like me and Cole barely even knew each other. And Jordan was like, God damn, dude. And I go, that was almost as good as yours, brother.
Yeah.
And then there's that moment where you've been doing comedy long enough. You're like, well, we got to get the tape. Because I burnt rooms down before, and then you get the tape. And tape's great.
Perfect.
Heckle moment was good. I'm the only person who's been heckled or interrupted during their Don't Tell taping.
Really?
But I overreacted a little bit because we were recording. I wish I'd have been a little bit more playful with her, but it was good. Anyway, I think that was the moment where I was like, fuck, I'm great at stand-up.
Yeah.
And then I naively thought, and now it's all going to fall in place.
Right.
And like I sent it to some people. I sent it to this guy who at the time was a manager, but now he like runs Netflix as a joke. He was like, this is the best thing you've ever done. Like I really thought, like this is it. And then we had to leave LA and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And
well, we should also note that that's 12 years into your stand-up career at that point. So it's like it took you over a decade before you were like, this, I'm proud of. This is me. And I think it's interesting because I know on such a different, smaller, objectively level, I know guys locally who will do what I would define as crush a room, but they're 3 years in. Does that make sense? So then, like, they're like...
Yeah, the first time I crushed a room was probably 2 years in.
Right. So, like, for that, sure. But to be a decade plus into your career and go, that's a different level of, like, acceptance and pride to go, now this is me. Like, that
well,
took...
I think it's also the difference. It's what that guy was talking about who we didn't name about the magic trick.
Right.
You can learn the magic trick in 2 years. You got to have talent.
Right.
It requires work. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You should be proud of yourself for learning that trick.
Sure.
But if you believe that's what the job is, you're never going to get to that other place.
And even like piggybacking off of him in that way too, in that moment when you're like, hey, you left me no choice. I think that's, again, it's a trick. It's a what, and people may say it's hack, whatever. I think that my example would be something, Brandy Augustus, who we love, who is from Knoxville. She has a joke that she typically closes with about having a trans kid that's taking testosterone. The few times that I've managed to follow her, I open with some version of, oh, I'm Brandy's trans kid, which destroys. I know it's cheap. I'm going to do it every time I follow her because that's my opener. That's her closer. It works so well. And I do think she and I have talked about this. It's to the point now where there's been a couple times where I've followed her where she's like, I'm not closing with that shit. I'm not giving you that. I'm not teeing that up for you.
I'm not giving you that.
Right.
Laugh. That's my laugh.
I don't mind that. Of
course.
I don't mind that. But I'm not going to not do it if the opportunity is there also. At least not at 4 years in. Like you said, if I'm 15 years in, sure.
No, that's up to you. And like if somebody goes, you should be able to crush no matter what. I agree. But I had a shot that I needed to take.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and I'm proud of that. Like I'm proud of like in that moment sitting back there, and like the toxic masculinity, whatever. Like don't be a pussy was overridden by, hey man, go kill.
Exactly.
And what skill can you employ to go kill right now? I'm about to shit on Jordan Fisher because that was one of the best sets I've ever seen.
Right.
And he's really hot.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be a little subconsciously mad at me for not being him. They want him to keep going. He just gave them. He made their night.
Yeah.
So instead of unmaking it, but I'm going to flip it a little bit. I'm going to be like, don't we all hate him a little bit though?
Right.
And that was fun.
Well, that becomes the joke, right? It's like if everybody agrees that wall's red, if you walk out there and you go, boy, that wall's sure blue, huh? That's like that becomes
you wouldn't
why
do that.
It works.
Yeah, or instead it would be like, what if that wall had blood all over it? And you said, isn't that weird that wall has paint all over it? And everyone's like, Jesus Christ, that's blood. But what if you just don't say anything? Then there's like a feeling of like, do you think he knows there's blood on that wall?
Yes.
And it's like, I just want to walk over and be like, I know.
Right.
I was here.
Right.
I also saw that.
Yeah.
I was back there shitting myself because I had to follow it.
Yeah.
What you don't know is that I'm doing this because it's the only thing that's going to fucking work, and I'm about to murder because I got you on board because I also like that guy. We're very inside baseball right now.
We are, but I will say the majority of weekly listeners, which is not a ton, but they are other comics, it's semi-regional and stuff, so they're going to know that. And then, I also have I think through different guests I've had, like when I had the psychologist guy on, I think that brought a whole new couple of listeners to it that hopefully tune in regularly and look at it from a different. So we have all that psychology talk.
Damn, I didn't know this was all comics. So I'm out here being all sincere and shit.
No.
I got more bits off.
It's not all comics.
Damn it!
It's also like if I wanted you to get more bits off, I'd book you to headline Don't Tell, which I do. You know, like I think one thing I run into on this show a lot is
whoever's listening to your show, I'd assure you I don't give a fuck.
You shouldn't
what they think
care.
About
it's
me.
just my mom and stepdad. And I think that
I care way more about what your mom thinks about me than like whatever the comics are. Listen to them.
Well, a lot of them are also going to click because the thumbnail is you. You know, like that's also a thing.
You think that's true? That's interesting to me.
For
I don't
you,
mean like to downplay it like I'm being humble. It's just like interesting to think about being like an old head who people are like, what's this guy have to say? Like that's been one of the more surreal things about being in Knoxville the last 2 or 3 years. Because on the one hand, I've definitely not achieved what I want to achieve.
Right.
But on the other hand, I'm like very well aware that I'm doing shows with people who would kill their mother to get a don't tell.
Yeah.
And that's like a head trip in so many ways, man. I try not to spend too much time on it because I don't think it'll be fruitful for me as a person or a comic.
Right.
But it is a head trip because it's like there's times like I need to kind of go do a mic because I got a show tomorrow and I need to knock the dust off.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just going to get up there and fuck around. I had this idea. Let me just talk it out on stage. And I go do that. And then I can kind of feel like, oh, I've become to them, they're like, well, this guy, he's falling off. And I'm like, oh, I don't care about that actually.
Right.
But I know that's what's happening in their mind. And a part of me, like the ego jocking me or whatever, is like, bitch, I was fucking around.
Yeah. I can pull out the stuff. Right.
But that's stupid.
Well, isn't that the Carlin thing that you kind of open with, right? Is like, don't care.
That's a perfect way to circle back to. If you can get there.
Yep.
And I love that. I think, I wish I could find it. It might even just been his daughter talking about an interview he did where that came up or whatever. But it was just like it's been such a watershed moment for me. And I'm not saying I always achieve it, but like I'm trying to get there where it's like, Carlin didn't say, don't give a fuck what the haters think.
Right.
He said, don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
Anybody.
Most importantly, your fans. And I don't fully agree with that. I guess to some extent, I think you should care some of what your fans think because they're supporting you, right?
It's in your best interest.
But I think the essence of what he meant is like, if you're worried about that when you sit down to do this, you're kind of fucking up.
You're going to start pandering. Among other things.
So many other things.
Right. Also, much to like our example we were talking about with Chappelle or whoever, like Carlin's almost the opposite in that he started out as like the guy who's not him. He started out as black suit, black tie, clean shaven. Hey, oh, here's jokes. It's 1972, 68, whatever. Then he dies on tour in a hotel room at whatever age, 85 or something. And is probably more authentically himself on that last stretch of tour than ever before. Like he never got to that point where he flips and becomes the hypocrite he did the opposite almost, where it's like
you're talking about
Carlin, right? So it's like
he and Steve Martin, and to a certain extent, Cat Williams, and I thought Bill Burr, and I still think Bill Burr, but I'm not sure, are the three most special that I've seen, and maybe Bamford, although she didn't get as famous. The most special where they got huge, and I'm not going to say it didn't affect them. That would be disingenuous.
Sure.
But they handled it. Man, it's weird. I don't even know what the right word is. It wasn't always that they handled it well. Sometimes they handled it poorly. There were times where they handled it poorly, but
right.
They never started being insincere.
Right. They didn't become a caricature of themselves.
Which
is what happens.
They didn't seem
to
to like
famous,
hide stuff.
Yeah. And it's not just stand-up. Also, that's the other thing about conversations on this show is like when the psychologist is on, I go, oh, that's just like in stand-up. When the wrestling guy's on and talking about pro wrestling, I go, oh, that's just like in stand-up. It's just like whatever the fuck you like. Whatever you're obsessed with, whatever you're an artist in or professional in, just apply that conversation in the same way.
Well, I opened with, and I didn't achieve it at all. What I wanted to do then was not talk about me because I don't know if I like me. I think I do, but like, I like my son.
Yeah.
I like my wife.
We can talk about that. We did also.
I know. Yeah. Like, I do like young comics, and I don't think that was always the case. I think there was definitely a time where I wasn't a young comic anymore, and I kind of was just like, I found y'all annoying and like way too eager and always doing bits or always asking questions.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this may also be the fatherhood thing. It might just be being more mature. It might be that I'm not as insecure anymore, so I feel like I know the answer to some of those questions or whatever.
Sure.
But I like enjoy it, dude. I'm really digging some of the young comics.
Does it ever...
And it has nothing to do with what they do on stage usually. Sometimes it does.
Right.
But usually it's like, no, it's like fine, good or bad, whatever. I like that person.
Does it inform, or maybe like, I can't think of the right word, not reignite, but some level of that where it's like...
It has before. That happened more in LA than here.
Okay. That makes sense too, yeah.
Well, there were some people, some of whom are like becoming household names now, where you just, at 23, you're like, geez, you're how old, you know?
Yeah. Not an experience you probably have at an open mic in Knoxville a lot, where you're like, that's the next Richard Pryor. Right.
Well, most of the best comics in Knoxville have been doing it a while.
Sure. And they travel and they... Yeah.
Right. So like, yeah, I'm inspired. I'm inspired by the youth, man. Fuck yeah, dude.
There you go, dude.
I really am.
Also, you're not that old. We're having this conversation like you're on death's door. You're really not that old. Would you...
Well, you brought it up in terms of that. I just admit young comics haven't been doing it in a while. Yeah,
right.
I'm not an old man. But it's going to happen soon. Because, you know, like there's that thing in your 40s where you age more in like 7 months than you have in the last 10 years. That 7 months is coming for me, dog. Fast. Yeah. And I want to get my hour out beforehand.
Right. Your human
because
age
I still want to make
and your comedy age, though, are two different things, too. Like the
but
fact that
I'm
you're
getting
15
older
years
in.
Right.
Like it's time for me to put the hour out.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to move to Athens and start working on it. And it's going to be great. I mean, it genuinely is. Because I'm going to do what needs to be done to make it that way. Now,
and
whether or not the world will agree, you know, I've all but gotten over. I do want it to do well because I want to tour with a bus. I want to bring my family to Portland.
And you care about your body of work and like what you put out. Like,
I know it. I care about my body of work, so it's going to be great. Yeah. I want it to be received well because I still want to level up.
Right. And that creates an avenue for you to have the family and the connection with your son that you, again, open talking about. I want more of that. And you get both. You can do both. Right.
Yeah, I want to achieve that new dream. I achieved that 25-year-old dream, and it's been hard on my back and my liver. I was a pirate for a little while. Well read, we didn't get into it, and I'm fine because I didn't want that to define me anyway as a comic. I think that's the other reason, by the way, that I was so proud of that Don't Tell. It had nothing to do with well read that I got it.
Right. Trey's not in it. Right.
But not just like that Trey's not in it or whatever, because I'm careful to come across like I felt jealous of Trey like twice. Like once he opened for Jason Isbell, and I was like, I'm fucking seething with jealousy right now. But I've never been jealous because I didn't quite want what he was going for. And Trey wanted to be like, he wanted a TV show, which is kind of why he did a character, Liberal Redneck anyway, you know? But anyway, but it was more like knowing that I got it.
Right.
Kyle saw me. The owner of Don't Tell was like, hey man, that was great. You know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe I was insecure at that time because a lot of my success was tied to other people. So that like helped me get over it. But anyway.
Right.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Well, it's a little validation of like, not only can I do this, I can do this as me, not as a part of Well Read.
Absolutely.
Like, right.
But I was saying we didn't really get into it much, and I guess I don't talk about it as much as I used to, maybe because I don't want that to be my story as much anymore. But that was such a fun fucking time. Sure. I have some like painful regrets. We kept like talking about paying a guy to come film us, and this is gonna sound insane to you. Okay. This is gonna sound you're gonna slap me. I'm so glad you can't reach me. And I think we were like, it's just like I don't know what that would be for. It's like so expensive. I don't know. Like we might get a few clips, but I don't even think we said clips back then.
Right.
I think we said we might get a few videos out of it, but what would we even do with that?
Sure.
And brother, when I tell you we were a cultural phenomenon inside the room, just people would be like this one dude in Seattle was from Alabama and was somehow finding his papa's Klan robe in the closet and putting it on because he was gay and ate and didn't really know he was gay, but wanted to wear women's dresses, and he thought he had found his dad's secret dress, and he talked like this, and like we're firing jokes back at this dude. We did this thing with Funny or Die where we went to a gay nudist retreat. We told that story on stage as a group at the end of our thing so many times that it became we even knew what the audience was going to say back before they were going to say it, and then that we could have been not as successful, but the white version of 85 South, and we were just idiots. I mean, we fucking blew it in terms of that, in terms of putting it out.
Is that just pure ignorance? That, like, it's not right. It's not like, oh, we were too good to do that route, or we tried to pay for it. We just didn't know.
We might have been too white trash. It might have been too like, This manager's trying to talk us into spending $50,000 on somebody else she represents.
Right.
We ain't getting one over on me,
camera, we got
it.
cameras.
Yeah.
We don't even... Right.
We'll do it ourselves. No, we won't. No, the fuck we won't.
It's also a lesson
We're touring
learned.
all the goddamn time, and we tour like animals.
Yeah.
Really grateful that I toured with married people.
That's interesting.
Needing or wanting pussy on the road is what fucks a lot of people up.
That'll really...
And it is, and you know, like connection is a basic need. And if
Sure.
you're gone so long that you don't have a girlfriend or a wife back at home or a boyfriend or whatever, at some point you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And then to go get it,
yeah,
that's when it can get gnarly.
Well, it takes you out of what you're there to do, too,
Or it
right?
makes
Like it
what you do
whole...
about that.
Even worse.
Oh, yeah,
Even
dude.
worse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I've told my wife this, so I don't have any problem with it. Like, I have a joke about my wife and I engaging in threesomes. It is on my Don't Tell. It's a very good joke. But I didn't write it for this reason. I absolutely was like, well, that's going in the set when she's here in case somebody wants to have threesomes. That was just like back when we were also more insane. I'm not saying we do that anymore, but like, yeah, you can't live that way, dude.
Yeah. Well,
It's fun
then
to
your
dabble.
set is becoming like propaganda a little bit, where it's like, I'm just up here to like
Okay, but again, young
bait
one,
these hooks.
it always has been. I want you to understand that.
Sure.
It always has been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
And
mean,
there's
for
propaganda that wants to
ulterior
steal your
motives.
grandma's pension
Right.
and put all brown people in prison. And then there's propaganda that wants the working man to rise up and take over the means of production, do that.
Sure.
So there's good propaganda, but it's all been, I told you, everyone who's huge, their audience agrees with them.
Yeah.
There's not a single example. I challenge anyone to find someone who's huge.
Right.
The closest I can think of is Mitch Hedberg. It helps that he's dead, though.
That doesn't hurt. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Or the guys like Steve Martin that quit. Like, that's like, you die or quit.
But he's not huge
and you're like,
anymore.
right. But you go, well, that's how they managed to never fall into these
comedy was so new then, too.
pitholes.
I think it was almost like, how does anyone do this? I think we're past that in comedy. So maybe I should say now there's no one who's huge who doesn't have an audience that agrees with
Yeah, even last night you and I talked about Leanne a little bit. And that's another one that like...
Leanne Morgan.
Who's
phenomenal.
Unbelievable. And is getting the much-deserved attention and success and fame that she has now.
100%.
I have very like MAGA aunts who live out on a farm in Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, who know nothing about comedy. They love Leanne.
Of course.
That's all her people.
Yeah, they relate to her.
They love her. So it's like, right, and she's doing material.
No one's ever said MAGA aunts. It's always been MAGA ants. No one's ever said that was crazy how you just threw aunt right in there. We've been here the whole time. I thought this dude was Appalachian, and all of a sudden he hit me with the Appalachia right there.
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would say aunt. I guess I would. Well, I'd say aunt. I was gonna say her name, but
it's aunt. You should not say aunt. It just threw me off.
That's probably like a route situation where I change it depending on the context. You know,
code switch.
Route 44, Route 66, whatever.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah,
I think I do that too.
Actually, the opposite. Route 44, Route 66. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Leanne is special.
Very.
My mom's favorite comic.
Right. You told me that too. For a long time too, before she was as famous as now.
And when she got famous, got my mom through my agency, who also represented Leanne for a little while, like tickets and like the meet and greet and all that. And Leanne was, oh, darling, honey, I would love to meet your mama. I bet she's the sweetest thing, just like you.
Incredible. Also from Knoxville.
Yeah.
So you guys have that in common, like nearby.
Also sincere, which is not always the case with people who get famous, obviously. Like, I don't mean that. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like, well, I don't want to name names because it might sound like an insult.
Not every successful person is a monster.
I'm not saying Kevin Hart's not sincere. I think he's sincere.
Sure.
But I don't think he's fully himself. I think he's like, I'm an entertainer and I'm going to have some separation.
Yeah.
Brother, she's who she is. And I was so taken aback the first time I met her, opening for her at Side Splitters when she was just like a C-room headliner. I thought it was fake.
Really?
There's no one this nice.
Yeah. I kind of thought that about Dale, too. Dale was the same thing.
And then
where
you
I was like,
you just hang around her for a little while and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, she's that nice and funny, dude.
Yeah.
She rules.
There's another guy from Nashville who I love who does Don't Tell Somebody, and like he's the nicest human ever to me. But every time I'm with him, I'm like, you kill people for sure. Like I just distrust anybody who's like overly. I'm like, there's no way you're this nice.
It's not his problem. It's our problem.
100%.
Speaking of problems that I have, I need to eat.
Let's do it. Let's wrap it up. Drew, thank you so much. Is there what's your socials? That way everybody can find you.
At Drew Morg Comedy on everything, including Venmo. Send me money. Even if you didn't like the episode, just send me money and be like, that was pathetic. Here's $5. I'm trying to think of like what I have to plug.
The podcast, Patreon.
Yeah, so I got a podcast called Gravy Baby that I do with DJ Lewis and Carmen Morales. That's very good. The pitch was always good vibes for trash people, and it's positive toxicity instead of toxic positivity. Yeah. And we did do that for a while. The idea was like we're tired of fake goop. You know the magazine Goop with Paltrow type people being the only people who are like have positive thoughts. Right. So we're gonna be our toxic selves and be like, look, dude, you're doing better than the pieces of shit you grew up with. Stop being a bitch, that kind of thing. Lately, though, all we talk about is how we need to buy guns and get ready for the revolution. Yeah. Speaking of,
it's time.
I don't have this project yet, but I need to practice talking about it publicly. Okay. The next thing I plug is I'm working on a thing called Hellbender, which is going to be like a mobile charging station / kitchen to respond to disasters, which is just going to have more and more of in the South, and the government's not going to do anything about it. So we're going to come there and like bring chainsaws and all that, but then we're also going to like tell stories and do comedy shows. Oh, that's awesome. We're working on making an RV and calling it Hellbender, and I'm pretty pumped about that.
Asheville's pretty pumped to hear that too.
They're like,
yeah, man! When the next one comes, we need you.
I was gonna say it's too late for Asheville, but maybe the next one.
They might get them again.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
And then I got some dates coming up, not a lot. I'm opening for Trey in Portland at the end of May. I am. I'm doing the kickoff party to the Athens Fest or Ath Fest in Athens, Georgia. Anyway, cool. Look me up.
They'll find you. Drew Morgan. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for listening. Support the show. Follow Drew. Send him money. Also, yeah. Thanks, guys. Mm-hmm.